Suo, the 33rd Demon Lord, introduces himself with a sinister grin. Opposite him stands Noah Francis, eldest son of the Francis family, his expression full of resolve. Noah recalls that he is inside an incredible game with countless possibilities, and he is determined to show his power. With newfound determination, Noah declares that his muscles will be his path forward. This is the tale of a man reborn as a villain in a game world. He is a man who will change the world through sheer hard work, courage, and the power of his muscles. Noah stands before the Grand Francis family mansion, preparing himself. An attendant questions his decision, but Noah simply confirms he is ready to proceed. Noah focuses, attempting to simultaneously use a strength-boosting magic and cast a fire spell. The spell fizzles out, leaving Noah to stare at his hand in disappointment. He sits, lamenting that while he can use strength, magic, fire remains beyond his grasp. The attendant approaches, impressed by Noah's incredible moves despite the failure. Noah dismisses the praise, acknowledging he still has much to improve. Suddenly, his younger sister, Kiara, tackles him with a cheerful shout. His sister, Kiara Francis, eagerly asks him to play now that his training is done. Noah awkwardly postpones, mentioning he still has to study. Kiara finds this strange, reminding him that he used to despise both activities. Kiara accepts his answer and cheerfully tells him to do his best before she leaves. Her observation makes Noah contemplate how much he has changed since his previous life as a normal student. He remembers the day he suddenly awoke to find himself in the world of a game. He had been reborn as the villain of the fantasy game Absolute Oblige, Noah Francis. The character he now inhabited was a cruel and wealthy noble with a twisted personality. He was the worst kind of villain, one who used his immense wealth to solve all his problems. Crucially, he knew that no matter the path taken, Noah Francis was always destined to be killed by the Demon Lord. The character was so hated, there was even merchandise depicting his death. Noah refuses to accept this fate and is determined not to die as a villain. He vows to train relentlessly, performing endless laps, push-ups, and sit-ups. Because he has no inherent talent, he knows he must become stronger through sheer effort. He believes his only hope for survival is to join the hero and defeat the Demon Lord. Later at dinner, he asks a maid about Kiara's whereabouts. The butler, Sebas, interrupts to ask for instructions regarding a slave. Noah recognizes him, recalling everything he knows about the butler from the game. He remembers reading that Sebas, a former assassin, would secretly spare the slaves Noah ordered executed. A maid asks if she should execute the slave who had slighted him earlier. Noah jumps up in a panic, forbidding the execution. He then makes a shocking request to release the slave and give them a job. Sebas stares at him in disbelief, asking if he is sure. The butler is taken aback, finding the compassionate order completely out of character. Sebas begins listing off the original Noah's petty and cruel orders, much to the current Noah's shame. Noah apologizes for his past behavior and sincerely thanks the staff for putting up with him. The maids are stunned into silence by this unprecedented display of gratitude. Their shock quickly turns to panic as they assume he must be ill. Sebas, however, quietly wonders if this is a sign of genuine change. Determined to witness this change firsthand, Sebas joins Noah's intense training sessions. Noah feels a growing bond with Sebas. He thinks Sebas now looks at him with the fondness of a grandparent, offering encouragement. A servant comments on Noah's improved physique during an arm wrestling match. Despite his progress, Noah is still no match for the staff's monstrous strength. He checks his status screen, realizing his growth is entirely due to the support of the people at the mansion. Sebas gives Noah pointers on which muscle groups to focus on next. The butler is impressed by Noah's dedication and effort. However, he feels Noah has yet to grasp the profound beauty of muscle itself. Flexing impressively, Sebas tells Noah it's time to communicate with their muscles to push past their limits. The other muscular men finish their workout, flexing and admiring their gains. Placed before a mirror, Noah is bombarded with compliments on his shredded and bulky physique. To his surprise, Noah finds himself enjoying the admiration of his hard-earned muscles. The servants cheer him on as he begins to embrace the muscle-worshipping culture. Satisfied with the posing session, Sebas proposes they go for a run. The group begins to run, with the servants setting a blistering pace. Noah is amazed at their speed, but his determination burns bright as he pushes himself to keep up. Noah activates his strength skill, surprising Sebas by matching his speed. Sebas worries that he's pushed the boy too hard by running at full speed. However, Noah grins, proud that he managed to catch up. Sebas admires his young master's spirit, noting that he always works hard with a smile. He sees in Noah an incredible talent, not for magic, but for hard work and building muscle. Later, Noah happily rolls around in bed, pleased with his successful training. He reflects on gaining new skills since mastering strength. He has gained appraisal, flash step, detection, and parallel thought. He's also pleased that his stats have increased. His thoughts are interrupted by the sound of his door opening. Kiara playfully leaps onto him, declaring it's time to play. He again tries to beg off, citing his studies. Kiara pouts, jokingly comparing him to a needy girlfriend. The moment is interrupted by the household chef, who excitedly calls out to Noah. The chef tries to invite them both to his new training, but Noah immediately declines. Kiara quietly asks Noah if he noticed the chef's genuine smile. She explains that because of his past behavior, the staff was terrified of him, creating a rift that isolated her as well. She recalls with sadness how her only friend among the maids left because of him, and she never wants that to happen again. But the chef points out that thanks to Noah's recent change, the staff has become much happier and more respectful. Hearing this, Kiara buries her face in Noah's shoulder. She tells him she's so glad for the change. Noah understands the weight of her feelings. With their parents absent, he is all she has. Looking back on a memory from his past life, he strengthens his resolve to be a good older brother. He recalls his own younger brother from his previous life. He remembers his promise to always protect him. That memory solidifies his determination now. To demonstrate his commitment, Noah suddenly rips off his shirt, much to Kiara's shock. Kiara asks if he's aware of the nickname the servants have given him. He blushes, guessing they must be calling him a hunk. Infuriated, Kiara yells that he's a muscle idiot. She runs away, calling him an idiot as he chases her. She slams the door in his face, her insult echoing from the other side. Noah understands her frustration, but remains resolute. He reaffirms his commitment to getting stronger through muscle training. He vows not just to be a muscle idiot, but to become a super muscle idiot for her sake. Kiara hears his earlier words echo in her mind. The thought of her brother promising to protect her makes her smile. She muses that this is the first time he's ever called himself Ne-chan. Her pleasant thoughts are shattered when an arm grabs her from behind. She struggles, realizing she is completely paralyzed. A figure in a maid's uniform watches as she is carried away. Her mouth is covered, and she is unable to scream for help. A nearby maid thinks she hears something but sees nothing amiss. She shrugs it off as her imagination. Meanwhile, Noah continues his intense muscle training. After a grueling workout, Noah collapses, deciding it's time for a break. As he takes deep breaths, he feels a sense of calm wash over him. Suddenly, he realizes he can sense the presence of everyone in the vicinity, understanding that this must be his detection skill. This newfound ability instantly reveals a horrifying truth: Kiara is being kidnapped. Noah immediately leaps up, demanding to know who the kidnapper is. At the same moment, Sebas bursts in to deliver the terrible news. Noah quickly gets dressed, shouting that they have to save her right away. Sebas tries to stop him, explaining that the mansion guards have already been defeated by a powerful foe. Despite Sebas's warnings about the danger, Noah refuses to stay behind. Noah states with unwavering conviction that his sister is waiting for him. Moved by his master's resolve, Sebas agrees to go with him. The two of them rush out of the mansion at full speed. As they run through the woods, Sebas spots something and shouts a warning to Noah. Noah spots the kidnapper high up on a cliff face with Kiara. Sebas advises they find another way around, but Noah rejects the idea, determined to climb. He activates his strength magic, ready to scale the cliff. He grabs Sebas and uses his enhanced strength to propel them both up the cliff. With a tremendous leap, Noah lands at the top of the precipice. He immediately confronts the kidnapper, demanding Kiara's release. Kiara looks at her brother, her eyes filled with hope. The kidnapper reveals that he will face Noah alone. The man reveals himself, greeting Noah as if they know each other. Noah doesn't recognize him and demands to know his identity. The man explains that he once served the Francis family as a guard. Noah vaguely recalls the incident, a loyal guard who was dismissed over one minor error. A flashback shows the guard being dismissed by his superior. The former guard glares at Noah, vowing he will never forgive him for ordering his execution. Noah is confused, thinking Sebas should have saved him like the others. He realizes this man won't listen to any explanation and that he must focus on rescuing Kiara. Noah uses his appraisal skill to size up his opponent. He realizes with a shock that the man's stats are superior to his own. The former guard takes a confident step forward. He marks Noah's perceived weakness, asking if he is afraid. Kiara struggles against her bonds, trying to defend her brother. The man taunts Noah, asking if he knows his reputation in the mansion. He calls him a man without talent, dignity, or culture. He reveals the staff's cruel nickname for him, the pest of the Francis family. The former guard continues his verbal assault, spitting out all the insults he's heard about Noah, calling him a worthless pest. The harsh words strike a chord with Noah, bringing him to the verge of tears. Suddenly, Kiara headbutts the guard, causing him to cry out in pain. She thinks back on her brother's difficult childhood as the heir. She remembers how the adults around him were cruel, but he never stopped trying his best. The guard furiously strikes her, telling her to stop making excuses for him. Noah cries out in horror. Kiara knows her brother became twisted and cruel. But despite everything, her love for him remains. With fierce loyalty, Kiara declares that despite his flaws, Noah is her beloved older brother. Her declaration shocks Noah. He turns to the guard and offers a heartfelt apology for his past actions. To everyone's shock, Noah punches himself hard in the face. Kiara cries out in alarm. The guard thinks he has gone mad. Noah tells him that he accepts his hatred and is willing to die for what he did. But then his demeanor shifts to one of cold fury as he declares that he will not forgive the man for hurting Kiara and demands her release. The guard is momentarily taken aback by Noah's sudden change. Recovering, he screams that he will kill Kiara to make Noah suffer. Realizing talk is useless, Noah prepares for battle, reassuring Kiara. Noah suddenly strikes a pose and begins doing warm-ups, chanting about muscle power. Kiara can't believe he's doing this at a time like this. The guard is enraged, thinking Noah is mocking him. He lunges forward, screaming that he will crush him. The guard's attack misses Noah and strikes a nearby tree, which explodes into splinters. He reveals that he has done nothing but train this single skill every day to get his revenge. He unleashes his ultimate skill, Restraints LV-10, vowing to crush Noah's body. Noah is forced on the defensive, dodging the massive spectral hands. The guard cackles with glee, urging him to run. One of the hands connects, sending Noah flying through the air. The guard approaches the fallen Noah, mocking his earlier bravado. Noah pushes himself up, acknowledging the man's strength. He reflects that he has worked harder than anyone to fulfill his goal of defeating the demon lord. The guard attacks again, dismissive of his words. Noah tells himself there is no way he can die in the prologue of his own story. He activates his strength skill, roaring that he will become stronger. The guard moves in for the kill, confident in his victory. Noah unleashes his flash step skill, moving with impossible speed and leaving the guard baffled. Before the guard can react, Noah is already behind him, poised to strike. He proclaims that he has surpassed his limits and is no longer the weak person he once was. He is the heir of the Francis family. With a powerful strike, he announces his full name, Noah Francis, as he knocks the former guard unconscious. After the battle, the former guard is tied up, begging for death. Noah contemplates his next move. He calls over to Sebas, who has just arrived on the scene. Sebas suggests torturing and then executing the man for his crimes. Noah dismisses the idea, stating that since Kiara is safe, such measures are unnecessary. He then casually reveals that he knows Sebas defied his past orders and let the others go free. Sebas is astonished that Noah knew his secret. Noah tells the former guard that his friend is actually alive and well. The man can hardly believe what he's hearing. Sebas confirms Noah's words, giving his personal guarantee. The man weeps with relief, thankful that his friend is safe. The other servants arrive, calling out for Noah and Kiara. Kiara asks her brother what their cover story should be. Noah decides they'll just say they went stargazing. He turns to his butler for confirmation. Sebas simply acknowledges how much his young master has changed. Noah smiles and declares that he is now simply a noble who loves muscles. Noah picks up Kiara and tells her it's time to go home. She laughs, telling him to put her down because she's not a child. The servants watch as the siblings happily make their way back to the estate. In another place, a woman named Cecile is told she is now engaged to Noah. She quietly wonders about the kind of person Noah is as he sneezes in the distance, completely unaware. A few months have passed since Noah was reincarnated into the world of the fantasy game, Absolute Oblige. Now accustomed to his new body as the villainous noble Noah Francis, he has grown close to the staff of the mansion. As Sebas approaches to remind him that it's time, Noah agrees, reflecting on the most important thing he has come to understand in this new life. That important lesson was the simple, profound wonder of muscles, a sentiment he now shares with the other muscle-bound men of the mansion. An attendant is left utterly bewildered by the sudden, enthusiastic display of posing. The attendant nervously interrupts their training, presenting a letter from the master of the house. The letter announces that his fiancée has been chosen, Cecile Edward. He realizes the main plot of the game is finally beginning. Cecile Edward, a key love interest from the game known for her beauty and intelligence, is now his fiancée. In about 2 years, he is fated to meet her for the first time when he begins attending Absolute Academy. The game's story dictates that Cecile will despise Noah's villainous deeds and break off their engagement. He remembers her scathing words, telling him he was as bad as the rumors and that she'd prefer never to see him again. The thought of hearing that in real life is so crushing that he collapses, prompting a concerned Sebas to rush to his side. Shaking off the despair, Noah resolves not to see Cecile until they meet at the academy. To avoid his fated death, he knows he has no choice but to become strong enough to defeat the demon lord. With renewed vigor, he launches into a special muscle workout, with Sebas shouting encouragement. His sword instructor, Lion, notes that Noah could have rested before their lesson, but Noah cheerfully replies that he is fine. Noah proudly reports that he completed the 100 practice swings Lion assigned as homework. Lion's eyes widen in disbelief when he sees the massive, makeshift stone sword Noah used for the task. Noah explains that a normal sword felt too light. His instructor is left completely speechless. Lion remarks that as the heir, such dedication is expected. But for Noah, it's not enough. He declares his need to become much stronger. He asks to continue his warm-up. To his delight, Sebas and the other servants decide to join him. As Noah and the others begin 20 laps of bunny jumps, Lion watches. He observes that Noah spares no effort. He is never satisfied with simply meeting expectations, always pushing himself to even greater heights. Lion's admiration for his student grows, concluding that Noah-sama is the best. He sees Noah as a good kid with a pure heart, unlike most nobles who would slack off. Watching Noah's relentless training, Lion feels that his student has surpassed all expectations. He sees limitless potential in the young noble and develops a desire to watch over him forever. His thoughts are interrupted when he spots someone collapsed on the ground nearby and asks how long they intend to stay there. The person on the ground is Noah's magic teacher, Freysia, who complains she's completely out of mana because of him. She recounts how Noah insisted she fire powerful magic at him for the entire lesson to help him grow. After the lesson, he immediately started other weird exercises which she found creepy. Lion simply smiles, suggesting she too has come to understand Noah's wonderfulness, much to her frustration. Noah spots Freysia and cheerfully greets her, inviting his exhausted teacher to join his muscle training. He promises it will build her muscle and improve her stamina. As the other muscular servants arrive to join in, Freysia panics at the thought of more training. Noah and the others try to pull her into their posing routine, but she resists with all her might. She shouts that she's had enough and quits. Lion gently stops Freysia from fleeing. He reminds her that as the greatest mage in the territory, they would be hopeless without her. His praise leaves her flustered and blushing. Lion presents Freysia with a giant barrel filled with 30 bottles of mana potion. He tells her she is a pillar supporting Noah's growth. He instructs her to drink every last drop to recover quickly. Freysia looks on in horror, protesting that it's far too much for one person. As Freysia's distant cries of protest echo in the background, Lion announces that it's time for his sparring match with Noah. Taking their positions, sword and shield at the ready, the two prepare to face off. Noah confirms he is ready for the fight. During their sparring session, Noah launches himself at his instructor. Lion compliments his swordsmanship, but easily parries the attack. He notes that his student's timing is too simple, and therefore easy to counter. Noah manages to dodge Lion's counterattack, much to his own relief. His instructor is quietly impressed by the maneuver. As he watches Noah, Lion reflects on his past self, remembering how he used to look down on the Francis family. In a flashback, Lion recalls his reluctance to teach the eldest son of the notorious Francis family. When he first arrived, he was greeted by Sebas. Lion's mind was filled with rumors of Noah being a cruel tyrant who executed countless slaves. His thoughts were interrupted when Noah greeted him, asking if he was Lion's sensei. Contrary to the rumors, Noah introduced himself with a bright, earnest smile. He then bowed deeply, promising not to complain about any training and asking Lion not to hold back. The display of humility from a noble left Lion stunned, forcing him to question everything he had heard. Lion recalls the common gossip painting Noah as a useless noble, with only money to his name. However, his own experience proved that the real Noah was a wonderful, hardworking person. It was then that Lion decided he would stay by Noah's side. Back in the present, a panting Noah steels himself, determined to land a single hit on Lion today. Foregoing any tricks, he decides to put all of his might into a single, straightforward strike. Noah focuses his power, simultaneously activating his strength and parallel thought skills. Lion is taken aback, wondering when his student became capable of using both abilities at once. Unleashing his flash step, Noah closes the distance in an instant. The incredible speed shocks Lion, who realizes with a start that he won't be able to dodge in time. Just as Noah's attack is about to land, Lion activates his own skill, Shadow Figure. Lion vanishes before Noah's eyes. The young noble's attack misses completely, sending him crashing into the wall. As he recovers, he looks up to find his instructor's sword at his throat. With a calm smile, Lion declares his victory for the day. Dejected, Noah concedes his loss. Lion explains that Noah used parallel thought to enable his flash step alongside strength. Noah marvels at how Lion moved even faster, seemingly disappearing. Lion reveals that as an A-rank adventurer, he is known as Lion the Shadow. Lion further explains that his shadow figure skill is a form of bloodline magic. Noah feels this is a bit unfair but accepts it. His instructor then praises him for learning strength and maintaining parallel thought in such a short time. The praise brings a huge, happy smile to Noah's face. Internally, Lion gushes over how meek and cute his student is, though he simply warns Noah not to get hurt. Lion reflects that meekness can also lead to weakness and wishes he could help his student become more confident. An idea strikes Lion, and he suggests that for tomorrow's lesson, they take a trip to the Adventurers Guild. Lion notes that since Frasier seems to be out of commission, there won't be a magic lesson anyway. He tells Noah he'll pick him up in the morning. Later that night, Noah lies in bed, thinking about the guild. Noah is thrilled at the prospect. While he went to the guild often in the game, this will be his first time in real life. His excitement is so great that he can't sleep at all. The next morning, Sebas comes to wake him and is concerned by his tired appearance, but Noah assures him he's fine. Lion arrives to pick Noah up for their departure. Despite his excitement, Noah can't help but yawn from his sleepless night. Lion asks if he's still half asleep as they walk, and Noah thinks to himself how much easier it was in the game, where you could arrive at the guild instantly. In town, Noah and Lion visit a weapons shop. The smith recommends a specific sword based on Noah's build, and one particular blade immediately catches his eye. He draws the katana from its sheath, admiring the craftsmanship. Admiring the katana, Noah thinks it's incredibly cool. He feels a natural connection to it, a remnant of his past life as a Japanese person, though the smith warns him that katanas are difficult to handle. When the smith questions his odd comment, Noah quickly dismisses it. With his new weapon acquired, Lion announces their next stop, the guild. Before heading to the guild, Noah stops at a market stall, curiously inspecting a small, patterned egg. Inside the Adventurers Guild, a blonde adventurer turns as someone calls out. A young boy urgently pleads for help for his village. He explains that wild wolves are about to attack, and the adults are busy with defenses. The adventurer eyes the boy's crudely written request, skeptical about the legitimacy of the plea. The adventurer asks if the boy petitioned the local lords, the Francis family. The boy explains they never received a reply, and that the adults don't trust them anyway. The adventurers begin gossiping about the heir, Noah, and his terrible reputation as a lazy and unreliable person. Noah, listening nearby, is dismayed to hear them talking so badly about him. Hiding in an alcove, Lion asks Noah why they're hiding. Noah explains that he now realizes his reputation is even worse than he imagined. He panics internally, fearing that a rebellion could lead to a bad ending for his story. As the adventurer turns the boy away, Noah resolves to restore his honor. The boy desperately asks them to wait, but his plea is interrupted. His coins scatter across the floor. Suddenly, a large, intimidating man named Hashbot shoves the boy. The child apologizes as he scrambles to pick up his money. Hashbot angrily tells him to scram. Just as Hashbot raises his foot to kick the boy, a hand swiftly blocks the blow. Hashbot looks back in surprise. Noah has intervened, his expression grim. Noah kneels to check on the boy, who thanks him. From the side, Lion dryly comments on Hashbot's usual aggressive behavior. Hashbot recognizes Lion with surprise. The boy, concerned, asks if Noah is all right after taking the blow. In response, Noah rips off his shirt and flexes, proudly declaring that his armor is his muscles. He converses with his own biceps, proclaiming them the strongest. Lion calmly reminds him to put his clothes back on. Hearing Lion call him Noah, Hashbot begins to put the pieces together. Hashbot shouts in disbelief, realizing he's facing the son of Lord Francis. The other guild members murmur amongst themselves, recognizing the rumored heir, Noah Francis. The village boy looks on, stunned. Noah calmly gets dressed and calls out to Hashbot. Hashbot gets right in Noah's face, aggressively demanding to know what a trash noble like him is doing in their town. Noah remains silent, observing him. The boy he rescued hides behind the blonde adventurer. Lion quietly confirms that this is how people perceive Noah. Unfazed, Noah explains he's on an excursion for his lessons. Hashbot and the others laugh, finding it absurd that a noble rumored to have killed dozens of slaves would be on a simple lesson. Hashbot continues his tirade, claiming Noah has no guts or talent and couldn't possibly complete a guild request. Elsewhere, the other adventurers worry that Hashbot's trash-talking of a noble could get them all in trouble. He gets closer, demanding a response. Instead of reacting to the insults, Noah just stares intently at Hashbot. Hashbot grows increasingly unnerved by the strange look. Both wonder what the other is thinking, completely misreading the situation. Noah isn't intimidated, he's mentally cataloging Hashbot's physique. He assesses his quadriceps and rectus abdominis. He concludes that the quality of Hashbot's muscles is low, lamenting it as a complete waste. With a cheerful smile, Noah declares that this simply means his own muscles are better, leaving Hashbot utterly confused. Noah then turns to Lave, telling Lion they should head to the reception. Hashbot accuses him of running away, assuming Lion will have to do the request for him. This provokes Lion, who glares back, questioning if Hashbot is calling his master useless. The young village boy, having witnessed Noah's kindness, stands up for him, shouting that Noah-sama could complete any request without help. As he speaks, the blonde adventurer callously steps on the boy's quest form. As the young boy struggles to retrieve his quest form, Lion stands behind the brutish adventurer, Hashbot. Lion sternly tells Hashbot to move his foot. Hashbot sneers, refusing the request and challenging Lion. Unfazed, Lion warns that if words will not suffice, he will have to resort to other means. Lion reaches down and firmly grabs Hashbot's leg. Before Lion can act, Noah intervenes, grabbing Hashbot's other leg. He angrily demands that Hashbot get his foot off the boy's property. Hashbot mockingly claims he didn't notice the filthy scrap of paper and has no intention of moving. Noah recognizes the importance of the paper to the child. He goads Noah, suggesting he try and move him by force, confident that Noah's delicate body is no match for his own. With a surge of muscle power, Noah effortlessly lifts the massive adventurer into the air. The onlookers can only stare in disbelief at the incredible feat of strength. Noah cheerfully remarks that Hashbot is lighter than he looks. Noah returns the quest form to the grateful boy. Hashbot scrambles to his feet, claiming he just slipped. Other adventurers mock the request, saying no one would accept such a filthy paper. They declare that he would need to offer 10 times the reward for anyone to consider it. The boy looks downcast, explaining that the small pouch of coins is all the money his village has. With a bright smile, Noah asks if he can accept the request. The boy and Hashbot are stunned as Noah explains that the location isn't far and he doesn't care about the reward. Lion questions his master's decision, but Noah confirms he is sure. Lion is moved, realizing Noah could have chosen an easy quest but instead chose to help his suffering people. He inwardly praises Noah's merciful soul as Noah agrees to accompany the boy to his village. Hashbot suddenly stops them, questioning why Noah Francis would care about a mere villager. Noah simply states that he will be taking care of this territory on his father's behalf. With a confident thumbs up, Noah proudly declares that of course he would resolve any problems within his own territory. As they travel, the boy guides them, explaining that the wild wolves live in the forest northwest of the village. He warns them to be careful, as the wolves move in small packs. They soon come across the corpse of a small monster. Noah places a hand on his katana, ready for a fight. Lion notes that while they've encountered small monsters, they've been in the wolves' territory for a while with no sign of them. Noah, using his detection skill, also senses no wolves nearby. He decides they should press on further west. Lagging behind, Hashbot's crony questions why they're helping Noah, to which Hashbot replies that the whole Francis family should die. He reveals a sinister plan. They will kill Noah, claiming it was an accident while fighting monsters. His companion agrees to the treacherous plot. Unbeknownst to them, Noah has overheard their entire conversation. Noah thinks to himself that his detection skill also enhances his hearing, allowing him to overhear their entire plot. He decides to wait and see what they do. Meanwhile, Hashbot makes a show of killing a small, fluffy creature. He laughs, boasting that it's the fourth one he's killed. Noah silently wonders why Hashbot is killing such docile monsters. Hashbot boasts that the wolves must be scared of his strength. Lion finds the complete absence of wolves strange and hopes they've simply left the forest. Noah, knowing better, simply says no. Suddenly, from the cliffs above, dozens of wild wolves appear, their eyes fixed on the group below. Hashbot cries out that they've been surrounded. As the wolves descend, they surround the adventurers. Hashbot panics, having never seen such a huge pack before, and stares in terror at their overwhelming numbers. The wolves' massive paws shake the ground as they close in. Towering over the rest of the pack is a monstrous fiery wolf with a single horn. Both Noah and Lion stare grimly as Lion identifies the creature, a mutated variant. Lion identifies the beast as a mutated wild wolf, an A-rank threat that must have grown powerful over a long time. While Hashbot panics, Lion prepares to handle the creature. However, Noah steps forward, placing himself between his companions and the wolf pack, ready to confront the threat himself. Hashbot questions if Noah truly intends to fight the monster alone. Noah simply tells Lion he's counting on him for backline support. He knows this is no game and that he could die. The memory of the village boy's play strengthens his resolve. He recognizes his duty as a member of the Lord's family. With his purpose clear, Noah declares that he will fight for the people and charges towards the waiting pack. In a moment of cowardice, Hashbot shoves his crony towards the wolves as a sacrifice. He tries to flee, leaving his companion behind. However, he quickly finds himself surrounded by the smaller beasts. Before the wolves can attack the terrified adventurer, Noah flashes past, swiftly dispatching them. He then faces the giant horned wolf, which lets out a menacing growl. Hashbot desperately yells for Lion to join the fight. Lion calmly replies that there's no need, watching Noah intently. He recalls asking Noah about his impressive katana skills, surprised to learn it was Noah's first time using one. Noah had begun to explain that he had acquired a new power. Back in the present, Noah sheathes his sword and closes his eyes, focusing. Hashbot watches in confusion, wondering if Noah has given up. The massive wolf charges forward, ready to attack. Despite the immense danger, Noah feels completely calm. He feels as if he and his katana were old partners. As the wolf lunges, he feels his new power activate. He unleashes his skill. With a powerful cry, he executes his swordsmanship technique. The mutated wolf crashes to the ground, defeated in a single blow. Hashbot can only stare in disbelief. As he cowers behind Lion, Lion scolds him for his foolishness. Lion tells him to commit this moment to memory. Lion looks at Noah, filled with awe. Later, the grateful villagers host a feast for their saviors. They don't have much, but they offer what they can, and Lion remarks that the wild wolf meat is surprisingly delicious. Noah eyes the food excitedly. The young boy sincerely thanks Noah, calling him a very good person. The praise delights Noah. He playfully asks the boy to repeat it. The boy's mother gently interrupts, inviting everyone to eat while the food is hot. Noah joyfully eats with his hands, thinking that his muscles are rejoicing. He reflects that his butler, Sebas, would surely nag him about his manners. As if summoned by the thought, Sebas appears, admonishing Noah for his unrefined eating. Sebas explains he was worried and came to check on him. He declares that he needs to drill proper manners into Noah even further and tells him to prepare himself as they are now going home. After witnessing Noah's table manners, Sebas declares that eating with bare hands is unbecoming of a noble and has found a suitable place for him. He has enrolled Noah in a noble education facility. An instructor explains that the institution exists to teach proper etiquette before students attend the academy. The realization of what this entails fills Noah with dread. The first lesson is dance practice. To Noah's shock, he sees Cecile Edward, the heroine from the game, among the students. As the others quickly find partners, Noah begins to panic. He realizes he needs to find a partner too. Just as Noah worries he'll be left alone, a voice asks him to be her partner. He turns around, stunned to see it is Cecile Edward. Their dance begins poorly when he immediately steps on her foot. Cecile correctly guesses he hasn't danced much before, while Noah internally admits he has no idea what he's doing. While they dance, Noah worries that getting on good terms with Cecile would be a bad idea. He recalls from the game's plot that she is destined to end up with the hero. He fears that getting close to her might ruin her chance at a happy ending. Remembering that the game's version of Noah is dumped shortly after entering the academy, he resolves to make Cecile hate him now. Noah devises a plan to make Cecile hate him. He'll grope her. He remembers that when the original Noah did this in the game, he was slapped across the face. Steeling his nerves, he prepares to act. However, he finds himself hesitating at the last second. Unable to go through with his crude plan, Noah spins away dramatically, declaring he can't do it. Cecile, however, is impressed, calling it a marvelous spin. Changing tactics, Noah asks her if she's truly all right with their arranged marriage. He suggests she ought to be with someone she loves. Cecile finds his statement very strange. With a sad smile, Cecile explains that she has never had the right to choose her own partner. Noah already knew this. He recalls her tragic backstory from the game. As the child of a mistress, she was raised without any love. Noah remembers that the Edward family, having no children of their own, reluctantly legitimized Cecile. He decides to take the lead in their dance, offering to start again from the top. He resolves that it will be all right. Cecile can still find her happy ending with the hero. He then calls out to her. With a wide, sincere smile, Noah tells Cecile that he truly thinks she should be the one to decide her own future. His genuine encouragement catches her completely off guard, and she admits that he is nothing like she had imagined. Her comment leaves Noah flustered and confused. Their dance is interrupted by a commotion, as a portly young noble furiously yells at his partner for stepping on his foot. His butler tries to intervene, but the young master angrily tells him to shut up. The arrogant noble continues to threaten the girl, stating that without their engagement, her low-ranking family would be ruined. He declares that she must obey his every word for the rest of her life. Noah comments that the boy is going too far. Cecile quietly resigns, saying it can't be helped and that it is simply the girl's fate. Noticing Noah's stare, the arrogant noble confronts him, demanding to know if he has something to say. But Noah's attention is fixed on Cecile's words, and he quietly repeats the word fate, clearly disturbed. Noah's expression hardens with contempt. He has no tolerance for people who abuse their power. The portly noble continues to berate his fiancée, demanding she never disobey him again. In an instant, Noah uses a flash step to cross the room, catching the girl before she can be harmed. The portly noble is sent stumbling to the floor. The onlookers are completely stunned by his incredible speed, wondering when he even moved. Noah gently checks on the girl, asking if she is all right. His concern quickly turns to cold fury when he notices bruises on her shoulder, realizing the abuse must be a regular occurrence. The portly noble is warned by his butler that he is facing Noah Francis, but he arrogantly dismisses the warning. Unfazed, Noah declares that people who hurt others will receive no mercy from him, no matter their status. He then turns back to the girl, encouraging her to speak up for herself. He offers her his handkerchief as a sign of his support. He promises that she can count on him if she ever needs help. Cecile watches the entire exchange, her expression one of utter astonishment. Cecile reflects on Noah's actions, thinking he is a mysterious person and completely different from the nobles she knows. His earlier words about choosing her own path echo in her mind, and her interest in him grows. Just then, other girls approach Noah to offer their partnership. He panics, thinking he's about to be scolded for causing a scene. Cecile interrupts, asking if he dislikes practicing with her. Noah quickly denies it, explaining that he feels he's a burden because of his poor dancing skills. Seeing his sincerity, she asks if he is truly fine with her as his partner. Taking his hands, she smiles warmly and reassures him, telling him he's doing great. Encouraged by her words, Noah is flustered but ready to continue. They resume their dance, and with her guidance he performs much better, earning her praise. Later, the girl Noah helped confidently walks away from her abusive fiancé, having annulled their engagement. Noah watches, feeling a strange sense of irony as it reminds him of the game's future, where Cecile is supposed to dump him. The scene then shifts to a dark, foreboding castle perched on a cliff. Inside, two figures observe Noah through a crystal ball, noting that his once infamous reputation has recently improved. The improvement in his territory's mood, since the incident is a problem for them. Their original plan to incite a riot using his family's bad name is now ruined, forcing them to consider a more direct solution, killing him. The mage, Albus, agrees that assassination is the best course of action. His feline companion, Mia, notes his nasty expression. They decide to split up, with Albus targeting Noah and Mia going after the hero. Albus is utterly confident, stating that Noah's strength is irrelevant. Albus declares that all are equal before him, a testament to his overwhelming power. Mia feels a twinge of pity for Noah. She remarks that his death is already set in stone, as an image of him struggling appears in the crystal ball. Following their encounter, Cecile decides to pay Noah a visit without any prior notice. Her butler assures her that Noah will be pleased and leads the way to the training grounds, with Cecile eager to see him. The scene that greets them is far from ordinary, as Noah is at the center of a muscle-human pyramid, straining under the weight of his companions. Caught shirtless and mid-workout, Noah is utterly mortified to see Cecile. She explains that she came because he never replied to her letters and he apologizes for being too busy. Cecile then suggests they drop the formal honorifics between them. Noah agrees, now addressing her simply as Cecile. She then prepares to ask him something she finds difficult to say. With some hesitation, Cecile asks if she may feel his pecs. Noah is completely stunned by the unexpected request. His mind reels at the thought, wondering if it's some kind of trick. His training partners express their jealousy, while Cecile's butler sternly calls it sexual harassment. Seeing his reluctance, Cecile looks at him with hopeful, sparkling eyes and asks if her request is no good. Unable to refuse, a flustered Noah gives his permission, and she thanks him profusely. As her hands touch his chest, Cecile exclaims how hard his muscles are, much to Noah's embarrassment. He realizes her personality is completely different from what he had imagined. Cecile simply giggles, telling him he's an interesting person. Noah realizes she was teasing him, unaware they are being watched. Hiding nearby, Noah's sister Kiara seethes with rage that another woman dares to touch her beloved brother. However, Cecile spots her and approaches with a warm smile. She kindly introduces herself, saying she looks forward to them becoming sisters in the future. Kiara is immediately won over, happily calling Cecile her older sister. Feeling an overwhelming pressure from their sudden bond, Noah makes a hasty escape back to his training. Cecile watches him go, feeling dejected that he left so abruptly after ignoring her letters. She begins to wonder if he dislikes her. A servant imagines Noah being intimidated by the sheer volume of letters from Cecile. Kiara reassures Cecile, explaining that her brother doesn't dislike her. She reveals that Noah simply never misses a single day of training. Kiara details his grueling, self-imposed daily regimen, noting that no normal person could maintain it. Cecile reflects on this, realizing that Noah is the very personification of hard work. With a determined smile, she tells Kiara not to worry, as she believes it is a wife's duty to cheer on her hardworking husband. During dinner, Noah compliments the food, and Cecile is pleased he enjoys it. Seizing the quiet moment, she changes the subject, asking Noah if he knows about the 12 mages. The name is unfamiliar to him. Noah recalls from his past life that the 12 mages are a shadowy group of assassins who targeted the hero in the game. He casually dismisses the topic, believing they have no reason to come after him. Cecile urgently corrects him, exclaiming that he could very well be their next target. Cecile explains that the Francis family's monopoly on national trade has made them many enemies. This revelation makes Noah realize his family's importance is greater than he imagined. Noah's expression hardens with the resolve to protect his family. Cecile continues, revealing the mages' true goal is not just money, but to form their own country, making them incredibly dangerous. Because they are not normal people, Cecile warns Noah to be careful, as she has no idea what they might try. Impressed by her knowledge, Noah agrees to be cautious. A butler serves the main dish. Noah asks him to take out the trash. The butler agrees with a smile. Outside, the butler disposes of the trash. The trash is another servant, bound and gagged, whom he chides for struggling. He internally remarks that the mansion's heavy security and even Cecile's unexpected presence were minor details in his plan. The assassin's master, Albus, dismisses the tight security as child's play. He reveals their true plan. Noah's meal has been laced with a potent dragon tranquilizer. In an hour, once Noah is in a deep sleep, Albus will kill him with his own hands. Back at the table, Noah suddenly yawns, feeling tired. Cecile admits she feels the same. Their muscular guard suggests they must have had a long day and offers to show them to their rooms for the night. Later that night, Albus slips into Noah's room. He sees the boy fast asleep. He scoffs that no matter how strong Noah is, he's as defenseless as a baby now. He prepares to deliver a merciful death, invoking the scales of judgment. Suddenly, Albus is sent flying through the window with tremendous force. He crashes into the yard outside. He is completely bewildered as to what just happened. Noah appears, expressing his displeasure at an old man sneaking into his bed. Albus is shocked to see him awake, stammering that the drug should have kept him unconscious. Noah has a moment of realization. He explains that the drug actually helped him sleep well, and he now feels incredibly refreshed. Finding the situation unexpected, Albus decides there's no turning back. He introduces himself as Albus, the mage of the scales, and summons his weapon. He declares his intent to take Noah's life and kill everyone related to him. Noah reflects on the recent dangers he's faced. He remembers that he initially sought strength only for self-preservation. But now his motivation has changed. He wants to protect not just himself, but Kiara and everyone else he cares for. He faces his opponent, ready for the fight. Drawing his sword, Noah stares down his opponent with fierce determination. He challenges Albus to come at him, declaring that it's time for the mage to face his muscles. The battle begins as Albus, the mage of the scales, clashes with Noah. Albus invokes his magic, calling forth a spear of many. A barrage of ethereal spears materializes in the air above, poised to strike. With a single command, Albus directs them to pierce his enemy. Noah deftly evades the onslaught of spears. He acknowledges his own advantage in swordsmanship. However, he finds the constant barrage of spells from the scales to be a nuisance. A new plan begins to form in his mind. Deciding on a new course of action, Noah conjures a magic circle. He unleashes a fire spell. Albus watches the attack approach, unimpressed, believing such a weak spell could never harm him as it explodes. The fire spell was merely a distraction. Using the moment Albus was preoccupied, Noah uses a flash step to close the distance instantly and strikes with his own swordsmanship technique, the composed claw. The attack lands, leaving a deep gash across Albus's chest. Noah stands back, stating that the fight is over, as such a wound should be debilitating. Albus, however, simply clutches his magical scales. As coins drop into one of the scales' pans, the grievous wound on Albus's chest vanishes completely. He breathes a sigh of relief. He turns to a stunned Noah, casually asking what wound he was talking about. Noah quickly deduces the mechanics of the magic from his game knowledge. The scales operate on equivalent exchange. A wish is granted in exchange for compensation of equal value. Albus is shocked that Noah understands his ability. Noah quickly claims he was just guessing based on a guidebook. Seeing his magic exposed, Albus stabs his sword into the ground, questioning if Noah truly believes he can be defeated. Albus boasts that Noah hasn't managed to truly hurt him. Unfazed, Noah mutters to himself about the potential uses for such magic, like muscle training or avoiding errands. Hearing this, Albus becomes enraged, accusing Noah of mocking him and his power. Declaring his victory, Albus unleashes his power, causing a massive magic circle to appear on the ground, trapping Noah at its center. Noah realizes the gravity of the situation. With Noah ensnared, Albus casts his ultimate spell, Lord of the Underworld Bone-Burning Hell. He boasts that even without his scales, his power is overwhelming, and the inferno is potent enough to burn an A-rank adventurer to ash. He declares that not even bones will remain. Engulfed in the raging flames, Noah stands his ground. With a defiant grin, he declares that the spell isn't enough. He tells Albus that he'll need more heat. Noah casually dismisses the attack, comparing it unfavorably to Frasia's magic. He worries more about his burnt clothes than the battle. Seeing his flames had no effect, Albus changes tactics. He pulls out a new item that immediately catches Noah's eye. Noah internally recognizes the object as a super rare crystal dragon horn, wondering what Albus could possibly wish for with such a valuable offering. Albus raises his scales, declaring that no one can withstand their judgment. The ground begins to rumble violently. A colossal magic stone materializes in the sky above them, and Albus declares that Noah will be crushed by it. Believing the fight is over, he reflects that Noah was a strong kid. To Albus's utter shock, Noah catches the massive stone, lifting an immense weight that 50 men couldn't budge. While holding the stone, Noah's mind wanders to making new dumbbells with alchemy. Albus stares in horror, realizing his wish failed because Noah's muscles are simply too overpowered. With a final grunt, Noah heaves the massive stone and sends it flying back at Albus. Lion arrives on the scene and asks if Noah is hurt. Noah cheerfully reassures his teacher that he's fine. Pinned beneath the stone, Albus is found by Noah's retainers. Terrified, he tells the macho monsters to stay away. They calmly correct him, preferring to be called muscles as they close in on the panicked mage. Albus's terrified screams to be left alone by the muscles echo across the grounds of Noah's estate. He has now been integrated into the household's intense daily training regimen. One of the retainers chides a struggling Albus for his slow pace, complaining that his muscles aren't human. Cecile asks Noah why their former enemy is running with them, and Noah simply says they caught him. Lion explains that handing Albus to the guards would mean certain death. He decided to employ him for Noah's benefit, a choice of words Frasier finds suspicious. Albus collapses from exhaustion during the run. Noah confidently states that they've taken his scales and that he's sure the mage will soon learn the joy of muscle training. Lion drags the exhausted Albus back to his feet, telling him the day's training is far from over. Frasier is initially pleased, thinking that Albus's arrival will make her job easier. She looks forward to having more free time. Lion quickly shatters her hopes, clarifying that Albus will now function as her personal mana tank for Noah's training. Lion explains that Frasier is the only one powerful enough for the task of training Noah. Horrified at the inhumane suggestion, she protests. Noah teasingly asks if she'd prefer the bucket of potions instead. Frasier finds both options equally monstrous as Lion begins to drag her towards Albus. Now stuck in a barrel, Albus asks Frasier if they've been sent to hell, and she angrily demands he call her senpai. Elsewhere, Noah excitedly asks Cecile to help him with a project. She's thrilled at the idea of working together. Her excitement vanishes when Noah announces their goal, building more muscle training equipment. Noah sits amidst his alchemical supplies, sampling different concoctions as he works. From a nearby barrel, Frasier calls out for more healing potion for Albus, who is also trapped inside. The defeated mage can only mutter about his lost scales. Cecile and Sebas observe Noah, who is surrounded by his various projects. Sebas explains that Noah has become completely absorbed in his new hobby, alchemy. Cecile takes in this new information with surprise. Noah excitedly explains to himself how these magic stone dumbbells are far heavier than normal ones and can be enchanted with different effects. Noah explains his latest creations, flying, exploding, and weight-increasing dumbbells. His personal set is enchanted to be 10 times as heavy, cracking the ground beneath its weight. The muscular retainers are thrilled with the new equipment, feeling their muscles cry out in joy. The retainers proudly comment on how much Noah has grown, comparing it to the growth of their own muscles. Cecile deadpans that raising kids and building muscle are not the same thing. Forced to train, Albus reflects that while the mansion is full of perverted muscle monsters, this strange fate may have saved his life. His thoughts drift to his original mission, wondering if the hero was defeated. Sitting alone, the hero gets a bad feeling about the cat mage. He looks around, wondering where his opponent disappeared to. He complains that it's mean to be jumped just because he's the hero. The hero, Arthur Miriam, smiles and remarks on the nice weather. He is the one destined to be with Cecile in the original story. Arthur stands by a massive crater, suddenly worrying that he forgot to bring in his laundry. Albus, in his cat form, can't believe he was defeated in just one attack. He concedes that while the hero may be an idiot, his strength is undeniable. Arthur cheerfully holds the cat, calling him McFaddy, much to Albus's vocal annoyance. The hero is stunned, questioning if the cat just spoke. Albus quickly covers his tracks by meowing, trying to feign ignorance. Arthur dismisses it, while Albus silently panics. Noah happily presents Cecile with a dumbbell he made as a thank-you gift for her warning. He encourages her to take it, telling her not to be shy. Cecile is conflicted, wanting to appreciate the present but finding it hard to be excited about a dumbbell. Sebas approaches, calling out to the young master. Noah puts away the dumbbell and offers Cecile a small box instead. Sebas explains that giving Cecile a dumbbell is rude. He warns that women remember every present and a single mistake can haunt a man forever. Sebas adds that they become especially relentless after childbirth, a comment that confuses Noah. Realizing his mistake, Noah tells Cecile he has something else for her. Upon opening the box, Cecile finds a beautiful ring, much to Noah's shock. Sebas reveals that Noah's father had prepared the ring for them. Noah realizes he's been tricked by his butler. Sebas tells Noah he'd be hopeless on his own, as he never even tried to meet his fiancée. Cecile gazes at the ring, remarking on its beauty. She then asks Noah to put it on her finger. As they leave, Sebas instructs Noah to promise he will never make Cecile feel lonely again. Noah nervously agrees. Noah gently places the ring on Cecile's finger. He thinks about how beautiful and kind she is, and that he's truly glad she came. But still, a shadow of doubt lingers in his mind. He thinks about the sparkling ring on her finger. He believes that the person Cecile will truly love is the hero, not him. Cecile gets his attention by saying his name. With a bright smile, Cecile declares that she will treasure the ring for the rest of her life. Cecile notices Noah's odd behavior and asks what's wrong, but he dismisses her concern. To change the subject, he asks if anyone wants another dumbbell. His muscular retainers all eagerly volunteer, with one specifically requesting running weights. Noah latches onto the idea, thinking he can probably make those. Sebas apologizes to Cecile, assuming she's upset about the delay in receiving an engagement ring. She firmly tells him that she is not mad. Walking away, she explains that she feels she understands Noah better now. She had heard he was a cruel villain, but she now knows that nothing could be further from the truth. Sebas watches Noah from afar, stating that the rumors from long ago were right. He reflects that Noah has changed on his own. He has grown into a wonderful person. Cecile smiles and agrees, saying she also thinks he's wonderful. Cecile declares that the true Noah is the one she has seen for herself. Sebas asks Cecile why she came to visit, and she reminds him that an important event is coming up soon. Sebas ponders her words. In the background, Noah leads an enthusiastic training session, while a tiny Albus notes that this means the young master will have to endure having no muscle training himself for the time being. While checking his stats, Noah makes a surprising discovery. The intelligence category now reads simply, muscle. He sits alone on his bed, trying to process this bizarre new information, as the stat had previously just been listed as unknown. Noah panics, wondering if this means his mind is completely dominated by muscles, essentially calling him a meathead. As Noah struggles with a locked box, Sebas enters, informing the young master that he seems to have forgotten something important. Sebas gravely reminds him that there is only 1 year left until the entrance exam in the capital. While continuing his workout, Noah casually remarks that a year is a long time. Noah stops short when he sees Sebas's terrifying expression as the butler grips his dumbbell with immense pressure. With a stern declaration, Sebas forbids any muscle training until after the entrance exam is over. The news sends Noah into a state of absolute shock. He despairs at the thought of no muscle training for an entire year. He collapses to the floor, defiantly refusing to study. Noah tries to make a run for it, shouting that he has a date with his biceps. Sebas calmly threatens to do something to his precious dumbbell if he doesn't comply. The threat works instantly, stopping Noah in his tracks. Noah argues that nobles can simply pay their way into the academy, but Sebas asks if he's truly okay with that. He reminds Noah of the insults he's endured and how far he's come through his own hard work. The words stir something within the young master. Sebas encourages him to use this opportunity to prove everyone wrong. Sebas rallies Noah, telling him to work hard and take the top spot. The idea of achieving victory through muscle power instantly motivates Noah. With Noah now on board, Sebas reveals he has arranged for a special tutor who enters the room at his call. The tutor is none other than Cecile, dressed in a sharp teacher's outfit. She promises to teach him everything as they'll be together every day. Noah is shocked to see her and questions her attire, to which she playfully asks if he would have preferred a swimsuit. Before Noah can react, Cecile quickly changes, revealing she was wearing a swimsuit underneath and asking if it's more motivating. As he stares, Noah is stunned to notice that Cecile has surprisingly well-defined abs. Noah recalls a time Cecile wanted to touch his pecs, leading him to a sudden realization. He wonders if she might be a fellow muscle lover. Cecile interrupts his thoughts, reassuring him by revealing she will also be taking the entrance exam with him. Impressed by her diligence, Noah is inspired to follow her example. Now fully motivated, Noah declares he'll do his best, much to Cecile's delight. She begins the lesson, starting with history. Cecile lays out the first topic, the structure of the capital's magic association, and Noah eagerly agrees. However, the moment the lesson begins, Noah collapses onto his desk, unconscious. Sebas dramatically diagnoses the condition as a muscle study rejection reaction, though Cecile is skeptical. She tries to wake him but to no avail. Kneeling beside the unconscious Noah, Sebas suggests offering him a dumbbell as a reward. Cecile questions this, thinking a boy his age would be more interested in girls. Sebas staunchly insists that men will do anything for a dumbbell. Cecile laments that her own idea for a reward lost to a simple dumbbell. As they watch over him, Sebas comments on how much muscle the young master has built. Cecile takes a closer look and notices that Noah's muscles seem even bigger than before, causing her to blush. Sebas leans in, threatening to confiscate Noah's dumbbells. This jolts Noah awake instantly, screaming that it was a nightmare. A flustered Cecile quickly suggests they continue studying. Noah agrees but then points out that her face is completely red, which she quickly denies. In a grand hall, the leader of a mysterious council sits in judgment. A report is given, the whereabouts of two mages are unknown. Lisa, a member of the council, speculates that it may have simply been a bad matchup for their agent's first job. Her colleague Flamma sternly asks who the opponent was. Flamma identifies the hero as Arthur Miriam. The leader questions if the hero was truly that strong. Flamma finds it unthinkable that Albus, a mage he personally acknowledged, would fail. Another member coldly interjects that a failure is a failure, regardless of the circumstances. The leader reminds them that the mission required them to either persuade or kill Noah Francis. Everything they do is for the grand purpose of the 12 mages. Lisa remarks on number 1's strictness. With a final command to deal with the situation immediately, the leader ends the discussion. The council is dismissed, and its members begin to disperse. As the others leave, Lisa expresses her dislike for their arrogant attitude. Flamma advises her against such talk, noting that great power often comes with flaws. He then refocuses their attention, asking if she has investigated the Francis territory. Lisa confirms that she has. Lisa reveals her findings. Noah's retainers include Sebas, a retired legendary assassin, Anbar the Black Wolf, and Orga, a former royal defense captain. Flamma grimly concludes that they are all monsters, and Lisa laments that Albus went in alone. She explains that the Francis family was thorough in hiding their backgrounds, but she worked hard to uncover the truth. She then asks Flamma for his decision on what to do next. Flamma declares that while he wants to grieve for Albus, their priority is another job, kidnapping the second princess. Lisa provides a crucial piece of intelligence. The princess is heading for the Francis territory. Seeing an opportunity, Flamma decides they can handle both tasks at once. He plans to clean up the mess of the princess and Noah Francis in one fell swoop. With their new plan set, Flamma declares that it is time to hunt. He silently swears to his fallen friend Albus that he will be avenged. Back at the Francis manor, there is a sense of panic. Anbar rushes through the halls, calling for Sebas. He bursts in with terrible news. Young Master Noah has escaped, having completely destroyed the reinforced door to his room. Cecile is amazed that Noah was able to break through the door, while Anbar shamefully admits that Noah distracted him with a dumbbell. Sebas fumes, calling Noah mastermind. He immediately orders Anbar to take Orga and the entire muscle troop to find him. Cecile tries to reassure Sebas, but he gravely replies that he is worried precisely because Noah is so strong. Sebas explains his fear. He forced Noah into a life of muscle abstinence and dreads what will happen now that his desire has burst. Cecile ponders the terrifying concept of a bursting muscle desire. On the floor lies a note from Noah, stating that he is going on a trip and that they shouldn't look for him. Within the Francis territory, in a secluded underground room, the mage Flamma approaches his partner, Lisa. He holds a small white rabbit, preparing for a spell. Flamma curtly demands a strand of her hair, much to Lisa's annoyance. Lisa complains that she just finished combing her hair, but pulls a strand out anyway. The rabbit in Flamma's grasp suddenly twitches, its eyes wide with an unnatural gleam. Their captive Princess Clay has awoken, and Lisa greets her mockingly. The princess remains defiant, but Lisa confidently states that no one will be able to save her. Lisa boasts that not even 30 royal knights would be enough to defeat the two of them. Princess Clay retorts that their victory was only due to dirty magic tricks. With a sinister grin, Lisa tells her there is no such thing as fighting dirty. As Lisa begins to tear away the princess's remaining clothes, Clay cries out for her to stop. Lisa only laughs, mocking her innocent reaction. Flamma, turning away, tells her he doesn't care and to do as she pleases. Lisa closes in on the terrified princess, whispering that she'll submit sooner or later, and decides to enjoy herself while she can. Flamma, calling Lisa a lunatic under his breath, decides they should report the capture. He turns his attention to the caged rabbit, focusing his magical energy to cast a submission spell. The rabbit stares blankly as the spell takes hold. He explains that the spell allows him to dominate the body and mind of his target, and by implanting Lisa's magic hair, he can control it with greater precision. As he begins to cast the spell, a sudden powerful blast of dragon breath erupts into the room, catching him completely by surprise. The explosion rips through their hideout, and Flamma yells that they have an intruder. Lisa is stunned, wondering how an intruder could get past her hair barrier. He complains about the rudeness of having a spell cast on him so suddenly. As the smoke clears, Noah Francis stands before them. Flamma demands to know why he is there. Noah angrily replies that they could have hurt his dumbbell Dan. After escaping his forced muscle abstinence, Noah took a trip into town with Dan, feeling that freedom was the best. He happily bought a meat skewer from a friendly vendor. He justified his outing as an important duty for the heir of the Francis family, all while continuing his workout. Noah's inspection of the town stalls continues, and he contemplates getting some broccoli juice. Suddenly, a large man named Haspar shoves past him, yelling for him to get out of the way. The collision knocks Dan from Noah's hand, causing Haspar to stop in his tracks. Noah greets Haspar cheerfully, but the man is terrified to see him. Noah explains that he and Dan are on a trip right now. As Haspar flees in terror, Noah gives chase, inviting him to discuss their love for muscles. Pleased, Noah thinks to himself that his standing with the citizens seems to have improved. After the chase, Noah stops in an alley, his expression turning serious. Using his detection skill, he senses two people whose presence feels similar to that of his previous foe, Albus. Sensing trouble, he tells Dan they have to go. Stepping into the chamber, Noah surveys the scene, confirming it was the right choice to come here, though he is surprised to find a girl confined in such a place. Seeing his shirtless state, Princess Clay is momentarily flustered. She desperately yells for him to run away, warning him that her captors are part of the dreaded 12 mages and begging him to leave her behind. Before the princess can continue, Lisa silences her with a kiss. The act catches Noah completely off guard. A man steps from the shadows, identifying Noah by name and noting that he has saved them the trouble of finding him. Noah quickly pieces together who they are: Flamma the Subjugator and Magic Hair Lisa. Noah analyzes Flamma's status, realizing he is overwhelmingly powerful. He sees that Lisa is also a formidable opponent and understands that the logical course of action would be to flee. Flamma taunts him for walking into a lion's den, confident in their advantage. Lisa adds a taunting invitation, promising to treat him real nice. Noah dismisses the thought of escape. Stating that running away is out of the question, Noah demands they release the princess. Amused, Flamma tells Lisa to handle him, much to her annoyance. He gently places his dumbbell down on the floor, telling him to sit back for a moment. With a cry of magic hair, Lisa prepares to attack. Lisa unleashes her 1,000 hairs stampede, sending a furious barrage of sharpened hair tendrils hurtling toward Noah. She laughs maniacally, vowing that he won't be able to run from her assault. He focuses his mind, narrowing his detection from the entire city to just the room they're in. By maintaining parallel thought and using observation to track her movements, he prepares to counter. He begins to deftly parry and evade her relentless attacks. Lisa grows frustrated, shocked that he is blocking all of her strikes with his katana, and calls for Flamma's help. Seeing her struggle, Flamma agrees to step in. He begins to cast a spell, summoning a massive horned creature he calls Subjugation Gigantos. Lisa launches a new, more intense attack, Thousand Fingers Demon. As the giant materializes above him, Noah is caught between two powerful threats. He finds himself in a perilous situation. Flamma commands his summon to attack, shouting for the giant to crush Noah as a massive stone arm smashes down onto the floor. Believing Noah has been killed, Flamma stands over the destruction. Lisa suggests they change locations before the commotion attracts unwanted attention. Just as they turn to leave, a pained voice groans from beneath the rubble. Flamma freezes, startled. Lisa asks him what's wrong, but he can only stare at the rubble. He recognizes the voice coming from the wreckage. He listens in disbelief as the voice grows louder and more confident, realizing the impossible has happened. With a triumphant shout, Noah bursts from the wreckage, lifting the giant's massive stone arm above his head as he declares that it's time for muscle fever. From the rubble, Noah emerges, lifting the massive stone arm with ease. His opponents, Flamma and Lisa, stare in utter disbelief, unable to comprehend how he could have survived the attack, let alone be uninjured. The sheer force of the Gigantos's punch had shattered the ground, an attack that should have been instantly fatal. Yet Noah stands amidst the destruction, proving their assumptions wrong. Catching his breath, Noah confirms he took very little damage. With renewed confidence, he decides he just has to trust in his muscles. He realizes that despite the vast difference in their stats, he still has a chance. Flamma shouts that any normal person would have been crushed. Noah retorts that it was a dangerous attack and they have no common sense. Flamma points out his ripped clothes. Lisa coldly states they will crush anyone who gets in the way of their important work. Noah scoffs, questioning if their important work is kidnapping the princess. Growing annoyed with the brat, Lisa expresses her frustration. She tells Flamma they are proceeding with their plan. Flamma agrees, stating they are prepared for collateral damage. He then reveals a secret to Noah. When magic is combined, its power increases dramatically. The technique is called mana sharing. By combining Flamma's domination magic with Lisa's magic hair, they create a sinister new attack. A creature of pure dark magic, the Black Snake, is formed. The Black Snake lunges forward, launching projectiles at incredible speed. Noah is struck by the unexpected assault. Watching a defeated god get taken over by the magic hair, Noah realizes the attack's true nature. The magic invades and controls its victims. He knows his muscles can deflect the projectiles, but he must protect his eyes and ears. Lisa taunts him, wondering how long he can keep dodging. Flamma has summoned a magic dog, putting it on high alert. Noah realizes he can't close the distance without the dog getting in his way. Furthermore, using any large-scale magic of his own risks harming the captive princess. With his options limited, he resolves to defeat them before Lisa's attacks can connect. He decides to charge straight through, borrowing a technique he learned from someone named Cecile. His mind flashes back to a training session where a surprised Cecile notes that she didn't expect Noah to ask her for a match. Noah explains that he heard she was strong and wanted some good training. Eagerly, Cecile accepts, reminding him that she is a user of the Edward style which won the last royal tournament. His instructor, Lion Sensei, had warned him that Cecile was so skilled she was called the Starry Sky, and that he'd be defeated if he let his guard down. Noah recalls deciding not to use his full strength to avoid hurting her. It was a choice he would soon regret. During that fateful spar, Noah had activated his unique skills, observation and copy, allowing him to achieve a perfect mimicry of her fighting style. Back in the present, Noah takes a new stance. Lisa, confused by this sudden change, wonders if he's using some kind of mimicry skill and scoffs at his confident attitude. She unleashes another volley of attacks. Noah unleashes the Edward-style's 7-star step. He moves with blinding speed, shocking Lisa, who wonders if she'll be cut. Flamma desperately orders his magic dog to attack. But it's too late, the magic dog is instantly cut down. And the force of Noah's movement creates a powerful shockwave. Lisa realizes in horror that she let her guard down. The floor beneath Noah cracks from the sheer power he generated without a spell. Flamma realizes that Noah Francis is no ordinary person. He declares that they must crush him now, seeing him as a future threat, while Lisa vows to make him pay for her lost hair. Flamma asks Lisa if she can still use her magic hair. She replies that it will be tough since the hair he cut is now immobile. Flamma decides to get close and use domination, asking for cover. As they prepare, Noah recalls the true essence of Edward's swordsmanship, to protect. He remembers Cecile's words, that she prefers a sword that protects over one that hurts, and how this philosophy suits her well. She had told him that he, too, could protect people. Noah had smiled, agreeing that he liked that idea too. As his opponents unleash their ultimate attacks, Thousand Hairs Stampede, Death Scissors, and Domination Ice Dragon Blast, Noah remembers that this was the moment he demonstrated the true value of the Edward sword style. With their combined might bearing down on him, Noah prepares to use the ultimate technique of the Edward swordsmanship. He unleashes the protection of the vast starry sky, a brilliant shield of light that effortlessly blocks and disintegrates their powerful attacks. The light fades, revealing the attack was completely nullified. Lying amidst the rubble, a defeated Flammer stares up at Noah and asks what he is. Picking up his dumbbell, Noah proudly declares his name, Noah Francis, the heir to the duchy who loves muscles and his people. Defeated, Flammer can only laugh, admitting that his muscles are indeed awesome. He proclaims it as muscle justice. In the aftermath of the battle, Noah finds himself in a rather peculiar situation inside a large birdcage in the main hall of his mansion. As a form of penance for the destruction he caused, he wears a sign of apology, meekly admitting he's sorry for breaking the door and the town. Clay, a man of authority, reminds Noah that he did break part of the town, while Cecile pleads for him to be forgiven. Clay laments that this incident might tarnish the reputation they worked so hard to fix. Princess Freysia steps forward, insisting that Noah should be rewarded, perhaps even promoted, for his heroic actions. To everyone's surprise, Princess Freysia kneels before Noah's cage, expressing her profound gratitude. An attendant watches in shock as the princess bows to young Master Noah. She confesses that she initially suspected him of forcing her friend Cecile into their engagement, but he ended up saving her, and for that, she offers her sincerest apologies and thanks. Noah brushes off her apology, saying his family's heads would have been on the line if a princess went missing in their territory. Princess Freysia, touched by his character, calls him a good man. She admits that she is starting to envy Cecile. Beaming, Cecile happily agrees with the sentiment. The princess is determined to reward Noah, offering land or a promotion, but he insists there is no need. She then offers money as an alternative. Noah firmly refuses that as well. Exasperated, the princess demands to know what he wants. Noah thoughtfully suggests they could just brush the whole incident under the rug. Noah makes a startling request. He wants the two criminals, Flammer and Lisa. A guard objects, calling them terrible criminals who kidnapped the princess. Princess Freysia adds they would be executed for their other crimes regardless. Noah counters that Flammer probably didn't kill the guards, turning to the man for confirmation. Noah reveals he knows Flammer's secret. He prefers to dominate and control people with dimensional magic rather than kill them. Flammer is stunned, wondering how Noah could possibly know this. Noah offers to help Flammer if he agrees to stay at the mansion, which Flammer eagerly considers. Princess Freysia interrupts, stating she agrees if her guards are returned, but she needs Clay's permission. Flammer agrees to release the guards, deciding that staying here is better than facing execution. Albus looks at Flammer with dread, noting that he's been captured too. Flammer is overjoyed to see his dear friend Albus alive and well. Albus frantically tells Flammer that being executed in the capital would be far better than staying in this mansion. Gripping his head in terror, Albus declares that this place is hell, warning that the muscles are coming. A confused Flammer asks what he is talking about. Albus recounts his nightmares of a man named Lion force-feeding him a bucket of mana potion. When Freysia asks who Lion is, Noah explains he's his swordsmanship instructor. The princess expresses a desire to spar with him sometime. Noah strongly advises against it, calling Lion the most dangerous person in the mansion, a claim Cecile finds amusing. Noah asks how long he has to stay in the cage, and Clay announces he will open it now. Finally out, Noah stretches. Just then, Flammer shouts that Lisa has disappeared, causing the others to panic. Noah, however, calmly reassures them not to worry. Noah confidently states that she can't escape the mansion. Meanwhile, Lisa runs through a hallway, determined not to be captured and killed. Confident in her beauty and smarts, Lisa believes she can survive even without mana. Believing she's alone, she's suddenly stopped by a voice from behind. She is shocked as she hadn't sensed anyone approaching at all. The man is Lion, who informs her she can't walk around without an escort. Lisa sizes him up, thinking he looks like a nice man who will be easy to trick and manipulate. Lion remarks that they haven't had outsiders, aside from Freysia and Albus. Seizing the opportunity, Lisa fakes a fall into his arms. She plays the victim, pleading for him to let her out and promising she'll do anything. Lion latches onto her words, asking if she means anything. Lisa confirms she'll do anything. Attempting to seduce him, she offers to join him in bed. Lion thoughtfully considers her offer. Believing she has him wrapped around her finger, Lisa thinks all men are idiots. But Lion's line of questioning takes an unexpected turn. He asks if she can use magic. He continues to interview her, asking about her special skills. He happily declares she's just what he's been looking for. Lisa is confused by the absurd amount of mana potion he's suddenly produced. Lion grins maniacally, explaining that he's been looking for a healthy mana tank who sleeps well and recovers their mana properly. Lisa realizes this isn't what she meant by in bed, as Lion explains he improved the mana potion's taste with strawberry flavor and tells her to drink up. Her screams echo from the mansion. Later, Lisa finds herself hooked up to a machine alongside Albus and Freysia. Albus welcomes her to hell, while Freysia cheers that with muscles, even hell can become heaven. In the steam-filled bathhouse, one man notices his companion's chest has grown, leading to a sudden hands-on inspection. The second man, startled, protests being grabbed, but the first proudly declares his own muscles are superior, challenging him to a comparison. The comparison ends in a triumphant display as Noah, surrounded by his equally muscular companions, flexes with pure joy, declaring himself the best. Fresh from their bath, Noah and his crew thunder through the streets shirtless for their morning workout. Noah declares that a clean day starts with clean muscles, and his men agree that nothing beats a bath before training. A servant calls out for them to get dressed before they catch a cold. Suddenly, Noah is stopped by a notification he can see. He's acquired a new skill, Strip, which boosts his attack and defense when he takes his clothes off. Noah can't believe it. He celebrates this awesome development, realizing he can let his muscles run free and power up at the same time. His followers eagerly strip down to join him. As they continue their display, two women on the street admire their amazing muscles. This sparks a realization in Noah. He concludes that since women swoon over both handsome men and muscles, then having muscles is the same as being handsome. Lion commends Noah for getting the hang of stripping, and Noah admits that while he was embarrassed at first, he now feels he has caught up. The men cheer for their young master, declaring that muscles are the pinnacle of fashion and that Noah is showing the spirit of the family's heir. Fired up, Noah announces it's time for their handstand run. His crew enthusiastically follows. A weary Albus begs them not to leave him behind, but Lion questions if he's giving up on building muscle already. As Albus cries out in despair, Lion proudly shows off the ultra-dense magical stone vest Noah made for him. The brutal training continues, leaving the new recruits collapsed on the ground, lamenting that this is hell. A young adventurer arrives in the city with his cat-like companion, searching for a group he's heard about called the Muscle Troop. Noah is surprised they've become famous, but confirms they are the group. He asks why the adventurer is looking for them. The adventurer points in disbelief, realizing he's found them. The adventurer is amazed by Noah's muscles and asks if he can touch them, to which Noah agrees. Noah is internally shocked, recognizing the boy as the game's hero who shouldn't have arrived yet. The rest of the crew, not wanting to be left out, invite the hero to feel all of their muscles, and he happily obliges. The hero is ecstatic, much to the exasperation of his cat companion Mia. Nearby, a dejected Flamma spots Mia and is stunned, questioning why she isn't with the hero. Mia admits to losing to the hero, while Albus confesses he lost to Noah Francis. Flamma puts the pieces together with dawning horror, realizing they are all being kept as pets. Later, inside the grand mansion, Noah sits at his desk. He composes a letter to his father, writing that he is doing well. He details his daily routine of muscle training, magic practice, and sword lessons. He writes that they've made some new friends, and life at the mansion is getting livelier. That evening, seeing that no one has eaten, Noah invites everyone to have dinner together. Lisa is surprised by the offer, but Noah insists that the more people there are, the merrier. The dinner is a loud affair, with the men shouting about muscles, weight, and protein. Noah concludes his letter by saying the mansion is full of smiles, though Lisa looks on with disdain, muttering about their one-track minds. The time finally comes for Noah and his group to head to the capital. However, their journey is not without complications. As they set off, Noah has no idea that his actions have already wrecked more than half of the game's original scenarios. With a cheerful cry, he announces their departure for the capital, completely oblivious. A few days before their departure for the capital, Freysia asks Noah's companions for their honest opinion of him. They unanimously describe him as a brat, a musclehead who strips for no reason, and a crazy guy who swings his sword with brute force. With their grievances aired, Freysia declares they are all in agreement and demand better working conditions. Albus, looking flustered, suggests that they should direct their complaints to Lion-sensei instead of him. Freysia dismisses the suggestion, believing the unempathetic Lion would never listen to them. At Lion's sudden appearance, the others instantly pivot, declaring their love for their workplace, which earns them the title of traitors from Freysia. Lion corners the stunned Freysia, intimidatingly asking if she is unhappy with her role in helping Lord Noah. Completely defeated, she mutters that she isn't unhappy at all as he drags her away. Graham states that they'll be missed, and a tearful Freysia admits she's grown attached to the territory. Albus reflects on all the studying he did for the entrance exam. He recalls how hard he worked, a memory that seems to move him to tears. Spotting someone, Noah calls out to get their attention. Noah is surprised to see the former guard, who has come with his wife and child. The man offers a sincere apology for his past actions. Noah tells him not to worry, as he already apologized to Kiara. The former guard then adds that he heard Noah would be leaving the Francis territory for some time. The man explains that he and his best friend, now his wife, came to see Noah off. Noah is shocked to realize the guard's best friend was a woman. Despite his surprise, he genuinely tells them he's glad they found happiness. The couple and Graham express their immense gratitude, saying their lives are much easier now thanks to Noah. As a gesture of his gratitude, the former guard asks to be allowed to defend the territory while Noah is away. Noah is taken aback by the earnest request. Graham remarks that the man has every right to blame them, not thank them, for what happened before. Moved by his resolve, Noah addresses the man as he takes his child. With a wide, trusting smile, Noah accepts his offer, leaving the Francis territory in his hands. The former guard tearfully accepts the responsibility. He vows to defend the land with his life. Noah immediately chides him for being irresponsible, reminding him that he has a child to think about. Watching from behind a tree, Lion remarks that Noah's charm even extends to babies. With their farewells complete, the group sets off for the capital. The journey is far from restful, as Noah continues his training even on the roof of the moving carriage. He and his companions also fend off monsters they encounter on the road. During quieter moments, Noah and Kiara manage to get some sleep inside the carriage. Their long journey finally brings them within sight of the capital. The group finally arrives in the bustling capital city. Graham informs Noah that his father has arranged a mansion for them, and Noah comments on how reassuring it is to have them all with him. Noah makes a mental note to thank his father for the arrangement. Noah turns to Lion and asks if it was okay for him to accompany them. Lion insists it's his duty, as he wouldn't miss seeing Noah's great achievements. Lion observes that Noah seems remarkably calm for someone about to take an exam, to which Noah replies that he's just that confident. He then reveals that he already has a plan for after he gets into the academy. Noah imagines his grand plan. He'll first ace the entrance exam, becoming the legendary muscle genius. Then he'll meet the hero and train by fighting the 12 mages, a thought that excites him to no end. His ultimate goal is to team up with the hero and defeat the revived demon lord. He believes this is the perfect plan to ensure world peace and prevent his own death. Lion agrees to accompany him to the academy. As they head off, Graham wishes him luck, and Noah confidently says he's got this. After the exam, a dejected figure sits alone by a fountain. It's Albus, who gloomily declares that it's all over because he couldn't understand anything on the written exam. He explains that every time he tried to focus on a question, his thoughts would drift to muscles and weightlifting. While his companions try to cheer him up, Albus remains despondent, convinced he's failed. Kiara tells him that many students pass with just the practical exam, and that she's sure he did fine. Noah suddenly appears, agreeing with Albus that written tests are impossible for them, no matter how much muscle they build. As Noah flexes in solidarity, a baffled Kiara asks who he is even talking to. Kiara encourages Albus to have more confidence, but Freysia's stifled laughter is audible. Freysia bursts out laughing, exclaiming how funny her book is. Noah asks Freysia to stop laughing while her student is depressed, but she just offers her book to Lion, sure he'd find it funny too. Albus mutters that he's not in the mood. Lion sternly tells her to stop, but Freysia waves him off. Freysia confidently declares that it doesn't matter because Albus will be accepted anyway. Her statement leaves the rest of the group completely baffled. She sighs, realizing none of them know anything about Absolute Academy. Noah recalls that it's her alma mater, a fact she proudly confirms. Freysia begins to brag about her school days, claiming no one could match her magic and that boys confessed to her constantly. Kiara impatiently cuts her off, wanting to hear the important information, not her stories. Frasier changes the subject, describing the principal as a mean witch who nevertheless notices what's important. She gets serious, telling Noah to listen closely as she explains what matters in the practical exam. In a flashback, Frasier comments on the massive structure Noah destroyed, noting the trouble it will cause the academy, as Graham demands to know what he did. Noah panics, insisting he didn't do anything wrong and just got a little carried away. An unseen person sighs in exasperation over the state of this year's applicants. An academy staff member surveys the utter destruction of the practical exam site. He sighs, completely at a loss as to how he will explain this to the principal. He can't believe all this damage was caused by a student who simply got a little excited. At Absolute Academy, a weary Professor Shino announces he's taking his lunch break. As he walks away, his colleagues pity him, knowing the stress of handling this year's entrance exam is the cause of his exhaustion. Sighing, Shino continues down the hall, the weight of recent events heavy on his mind. Clutching his stomach in pain, Shino desperately reaches for his medicine. He laments how his dream job as a magic plant professor, his big break, has been ruined. Everything, he fumes, was destroyed by that muscle freak Noah Francis. He recalls the horrible way Noah treated the principal's precious morsuas. Lost in his thoughts, Shino decides to just go home for the day, but his escape is cut short by the appearance of the principal. He cries out in alarm upon seeing her. She reminds him that he has yet to submit his report on the entrance exam. Knowing he can't refuse her direct order, he reluctantly agrees to submit it. Though internally, he'd really rather not have to relive the experience. Shino's mind flashes back to the beginning of the exam, where he explained the task. Within 4 days, they were to obtain a key from the monsters known as morsuas. He explicitly warned them that the creatures were too powerful to fight head-on, and that their scores would depend on their creative use of techniques like ambushes and traps. With a shout, Shino had started the exam. The applicants immediately rushed into the forest. He watched Noah, the infamous villain, with skepticism, surprised the boy was even trying to get in without a bribe. Shino figured he would likely fail anyway. Deep in the woods, one of the applicants boasted about having hunted large monsters before, though a companion pointed out that the guards did most of the work. Their bravado vanished when they came face to face with a pack of furious, giant boars, the morsuas. The applicants stared in disbelief, realizing the impossibility of stealing keys from such beasts. Panic erupted and they scattered, screaming and running for their lives. Watching from a cliff, Shino could only sigh. He thought to himself that this was not going to end well. A few students managed to execute a plan, reasoning that the morsua's speed and size would prevent it from turning quickly, and lured one towards a wall. The creature crashed into the rock face with tremendous force, and for a moment they believed they had succeeded. From the dust emerged an even more terrifying monster as the morsua's fangs transformed to an enormous size. As the students scattered in fear, Noah shouted at them not to just stand there but to run. Instead of running, Noah charged directly at the beast, and one of the other applicants watched in horror, certain that he was about to be killed. But to everyone's shock, Noah met the charging morsua's head-on, stopping its massive tusk with his bare hands and remarking that it was a lively one. Noah grinned, telling the morsuas its strength made for a nice workout. The other students were speechless that he had blocked the attack. Spotting the key hanging from its tusk, Noah announced his intention to take it. The beast thrashed wildly, but Noah simply told it to calm down. He warned the creature that things could get dangerous if it didn't settle down. With a final command for the morsuas to be a good boy and calm down, Noah delivered a powerful punch directly to its face. Professor Shino watched in abject horror, screaming internally that Noah had just punched it. With the monster collapsed, Noah casually retrieved his key, remarking that it was easier than he expected. Inspired by this display, the other applicants cheered, realizing they could take the monsters down the same way. They rushed off to get their own keys, much to Shino's dismay as he yelled that this wasn't how the exam was supposed to work. The other students followed Noah's lead, pummeled the morsuas into submission. Later, as Shino reviewed the results, he felt his stomach ache return. He couldn't believe that one student had taken down almost all the boars by himself, but he was grateful that there were very few injuries this year as a result. With the exam effectively over, Noah roasted the defeated morsuas, declaring there was enough food for everyone. The applicants cheered and feasted together, with Shino watching grimly from the background. Shino, looking at a photo of the bizarre celebration, could only despair at the sheer muscle-fueled joy of getting protein during an exam. The principal is in shock, looking at a picture of the exam's after-party barbecue. She mourns her precious boars, Moses, Morilias and Mostly, who she says were all good boys. She asks Professor Shino why he is also in the picture, and he explains he was eating with them. Furious, she declares a pay cut, much to Shino's horror. Despite the chaos, the principal notes that an unbelievable student has enrolled. Shino assures her it is no problem. Professor Shino's confidence stems from the fact that the hero is also enrolling. He cheerfully states his belief that the hero will guide the other students back to the correct path. The principal calls Shino's name, her tone serious. She seems to have some concerning information about the hero. The next day, the results of the exam are posted. Students and their families gather at the academy gates to check the list of successful applicants. Noah's companions look on with concern. Noah stands apart from the crowd, watching them. Suddenly, his blonde fiancée and Kiara rush towards Noah, tackling him in a celebratory hug. Noah is relieved he passed, having thought it was all over for him. But his thoughts turned to someone else who concerned him. He was concerned about Arthur Miriam, the hero from a remote village. According to the game's story, they were supposed to meet at the academy and defeat the demon lord together. But there was a major problem: the hero had failed the exam. As Noah wonders what to do, Kiara tries to pull the blonde girl off him, telling her he doesn't like it. His fiancée ignores Kiara and asks Noah if he wants to celebrate his passing by going on a date. Noah happily agrees to the date. His fiancée is delighted but has one condition. She demands that he put on some clothes, but Noah protests, claiming his muscles are high fashion. She explains how embarrassing it would be to introduce her fiancé as the naked guy. Realizing she's serious, Noah starts to sweat. She tells him that while he looks great, he would be much more attractive in fancy clothes, and he finally concedes. While shopping, Noah struggles to choose between two outfits and wishes Kiara were there for her opinion. His fiancée quickly reminds him that it is their date, and no one else is allowed to interfere. She hands him more clothes to try on. Though he says he is fine with either, he is pulled into the dressing room. Their date is interrupted by a commotion, as a thief runs through the street with a stolen purse. Noah tells his startled fiancée that he will be right back. He apologizes in advance to the thief for the light tap he is about to deliver and launches forward with a flash step. Just as Noah is about to strike, another figure flashes past him, moving at an incredible speed to intercept the thief first. The blonde-haired stranger lands a powerful kick on the thief. Noah can only watch as the man is sent flying, stunned by the other's speed. Noah is shocked, wondering who this person could be who is even faster than him. The stranger, in turn, is taken aback by Noah's incredible power, finding it a bit scary. Meanwhile, Noah's fiancée calmly stands over the downed thief's accomplice, telling him not to steal other people's stuff. As guards take the thief away, Noah's group reconvenes. Gaston praises Noah, who insists he did nothing. The stranger then recognizes Noah as the leader of the muscle troop. Noah realizes this is the tourist from before. The stranger confirms they have met again and asks for directions to Absolute Academy, explaining he has been lost for 10 days. Noah is stunned that the man has been lost for so long. As he gives directions, he takes a closer look at the man's clothes and has a sudden realization. He hesitantly asks if the man is the hero, and the stranger confirms it. The man introduces himself with a bright smile as Arthur Miriam. Arthur marvels at the huge mansion, and Gaston welcomes him inside. Holding his cat McFatty, the hero cheerfully decides that getting lost was worth it. Lion internally notes that Arthur's detour was due to him saving a village from monsters. Remembering the sight of Arthur bravely fighting off monsters, Lion concludes that the man truly is a real hero. Gaston greets the group, questioning why they've returned so early from their date with Cecile. Cecile internally fumes about the interloper who ruined her plans. Lion's intense gaze settles on McFaddy. The cat panics, fearing that Lion knows its true identity. Lion admits he likes cats, feeling a kinship with their solitary nature. McFatty feels a wave of relief, thinking it is safe. Arthur defensively pulls McFatty away, declaring the cat is his, much to Lion's disappointment. Noah explains that Arthur is the hero, and since he's broke from helping others, he has invited him to stay and train. Lion readily agrees to Noah's request. Suddenly, Kiara and other retainers collapse from what she calls mana depletion, much to McFatty's alarm. Arthur asks his trembling cat what's wrong. As Kiara mutters the names of her fallen comrades, McFatty is terrified by the display. The cat now believes this is a terrifying place, and is grateful to have been adopted by the hero. Lion smirks, remarking how nice it must be to be the hero's cat, further unsettling McFaddy. 1 week later, Cecile arrives at the mansion. She asks if Noah is home and is directed to the training grounds. She is determined that today she will finally succeed in having her date. She prepares herself with a spray of perfume recommended by a shop assistant. Suddenly, she is startled by loud, energetic shouts from nearby. A shirtless Noah laughs, taunting Arthur for falling behind in their intense workout, but Arthur vows that he won't be behind for long. Cecile is utterly horrified by the sight of the men engaged in what she can only describe as muscle youth. Gaston explains to the bewildered Cecile that the sand and tires are part of a perfect lower body training regimen. Lion comments that Arthur has grown accustomed to their lifestyle, which Cecile interprets as successful brainwashing. Arthur spots them and excitedly runs over, shouting that he was looking for Lion. Remembering Lion's fondness for cats, Arthur proudly presents him with an enormous pile of felines he caught as a gift. Lion and Cecile are both stunned by the gesture. Arthur clarifies that he thought Lion had his sights set on McFaddy. Arthur apologizes but explains that McFaddy is his precious friend. Lion recognizes the glowing mark of the hero on Arthur's hand. He relents, agreeing that it can't be helped if they are friends, and begins playing with the other cats. McFaddy dashes away in relief. Arthur asks Lion who the strongest person at the mansion is, and Lion immediately declares it is Noah-sama. Arthur accuses him of favoritism for his apprentice. Lion assures him he will understand soon enough. Nearby, Kiara braces herself, asking if she can use all her remaining mana for her next attack. With a simple shout, Noah casually deflects Kiara's massive magical blast, leaving her stunned. He immediately tells her to go again, but she collapses, completely out of mana. Arthur stares in awe, while Lion calmly explains that such a feat is normal for Noah. Gaston summons Lion, who correctly guesses the meeting is about Noah. Gaston acknowledges that Arthur's presence has been a good stimulus, but he voices his concern that Arthur is the hero. Gaston opens a locket with a picture of a young Noah, worrying that Arthur's status as hero could expose Noah to danger. Lion insists that Noah is strong. Gaston equates their fierce protectiveness to parental love. Lion's thoughts darken as he gazes out at a horde of monsters, vowing to show no mercy to anyone who dares to attack Noah. Lion agrees with Gaston's sentiment. The two men, described as parental figures seething with rage, prepare to leave, with Gaston promising that a special reward awaits any who would threaten their young master. In the nearby forest, a frustrated Freysia storms away from the mansion, vowing she can't take it anymore and will never go back. She recalls how her magic has no effect on Noah, a fact she finds incredibly creepy. Her escape is cut short as she stumbles upon a horde of monsters. Freysia is surprised, noting that it's a rare sight to see monsters in the forest by the capital. From the shadows, a voice laments their failure to kill Arthur and incite an insurrection in the Francis territory. The demon captain, August, reveals himself unimpressed by the so-called 12 mages. He decides that if he wants to please his demon lord, he'll have to handle things himself. Freysia unleashes a powerful Flame Nova spell on the monsters. However, it's all she can manage before her mana is completely depleted. August dismisses the human who has appeared before him as nothing more than a pebble in his path. Calling her an eyesore, August casually draws a bow, preparing to fire. He lets loose a magically charged arrow directly at the defenseless mage. Meanwhile, back at the mansion, Noah and his sister Cecile are playing a game of reversey. Cecile asks if he gives up, but Noah is determined to continue. Internally, he thinks about how he wanted to chase after Freysia when he heard she was gone. Since Lion and Sebas rushed out ahead, he knows he doesn't need to do anything, and with a single move, he turns the entire game around, shocking Cecile. Freysia braces for the incoming arrow. Noah calmly observes the board, noting that his retainers are outnumbered. He counts exactly 329 monsters heading towards the mansion. Just in time, Lion appears, catching the arrow and sweeping Freysia into his arms. He coldly tells her this only happened because she slacked off and ran away. Freysia is left stunned and blushing as she whispers his name. Freysia notices Lion is hurt, but he brushes it off with an exasperated sigh. He chides her for being a disgrace as a teacher, entering the forest with so little mana and getting attacked. He hands her a bucket of water, telling her to drink it and return to the mansion. After she apologizes, Freysia reluctantly accepts the drink. As Freysia drinks, she notes that the water tastes like banana. Lion turns to face August, thanking him for taking care of their mage. The demon captain recognizes him as the Francis family's lapdog. He orders his minions to proceed to the mansion while he deals with Lion personally. Sebas appears, firmly stating that he won't let them pass. As the monsters begin to advance, another figure steps in to block their path. In a flash, Sebas unleashes his assassin technique, Critical Hades, dispatching several of the creatures with swift, powerful strikes. Argus watches with amusement as the monsters fall. Sebas observes that they're in trouble, as even the two of them can't handle such a massive horde. Lion joins Sebas, calling out his name. Lion asks Sebas to keep what he's about to see a secret. He then performs a hand sign and utters a single word, release. A monstrous claw bursts from Lion's arm. He screams as his body begins to violently transform, much to Augus's surprise. Lion's transformation completes, revealing a demonic form. Augus is shocked, questioning if Lion is truly human, as he now looks like one of them. Lion confirms he is human, just not a normal one. Enraged, Augus orders his remaining forces to attack. In response, Lion simply states he will use true shadow magic. He snaps his fingers, preparing to cast his spell. Augus stares in disbelief, exclaiming that it's an impossibly high number of magic circles. Lion unleashes dark fireworks, a spell that summons countless magic circles over the monster horde, causing a massive explosion. The forest is engulfed in a massive explosion. Augus can only cry out in disbelief as his forces are obliterated. When the smoke clears, Sebas points out that Augus is the only one left. Lion asks the demon captain if he would be willing to live. Augus, however, declares his unwavering loyalty to the great demon lord. Refusing to listen to mere humans, Augus transforms, growing larger and more powerful. He roars that he will crush them as he charges forward. Sebas simply remarks that he's a troublesome fellow. As the powered-up demon barrels towards them, Sebas casually asks Lion if they should yeah together. Lion flatly refuses, stating he hasn't been contaminated by Sebas's muscle fever. Sebas seems disappointed that Lion won't join in, but declares that his only infatuation is with Noah-sama. He then shouts that they should go to the other side where muscles await. Together, they launch a final combined assault, Lion's Dark Star and Sebas's Critical Shine. In a dark, cavernous throne room, a demon captain reports back to his lord. He congratulates the captain on what he presumes was a successful mission, the elimination of the hero, Arthur. The demon lord Cecile cuts to the chase, demanding to see Arthur's corpse. The captain falls to his knees, begging for forgiveness and admitting that the hero was far stronger than they had anticipated. Cecile's demeanor darkens. He seizes the captain, questioning his use of the word we, and asking if he's implying that Cecile himself made a mistake. The terrified captain screams for forgiveness, insisting that everything he does is for Cecile's sake, to eliminate anyone who dares call him the former demon lord. Enraged, Cecile declares that he is still the demon lord. He accuses his subordinate of trying to doom him, warning that any mistake would have alerted that one to their presence. The captain can only stammer denials as he collapses in fear. Dismissing the failure, Cecile summons another subordinate, Kabardi, and asks for Arthur's current location. Kabardi reports that according to their intelligence, the hero is aboard a luxury cruise ship arranged by the Magic Church. Cecile praises Kabardi for his excellence, unlike the other useless fools. Elsewhere, the former demon lord recalls his last encounter with Arthur, which ended with him burning down a village. He vows to kill the hero, raise him as one of the undead, and reclaim his rightful title. His target is now at sea, aboard a grand vessel docked at a bustling port city. At the docks, Noah marvels at the sheer size of the cruise ship. Behind him, Frasier cheers excitedly, thrilled about the trip. The former demon lord's followers are also present, equally excited about their first trip since being captured. One of them rejoices at being alive and free from that hell. His celebration is cut short when Galgundy asks why he's suddenly holding broccoli and a dumbbell. The man is baffled, having no memory of grabbing them, prompting Galgundy to suggest the muscle brainwashing has taken hold. The man retorts by pointing out Galgundy's own muscle-bearing attire, causing the brawny man to question his own fashion choices. Flamma dryly remarks that he's the one who fell for the brainwashing. The two men start arguing, each making flimsy excuses for their new habits. Nearby, Frasier calls for Lisa, who eagerly responds. Frasier asks Lisa if she managed to get the booze for their party tonight. Lisa confirms she did, and also found some of Lion's hidden sweets and snacks. Frasier gives her a thumbs up, telling her to keep it secret. Elsewhere, Noah and Cecile overhear other nobles talking about the dance party, with Cecile remarking on how wonderful it sounds. Now dressed for the occasion, Cecile compliments Noah on how good he looks in a suit. Noah, however, finds it uncomfortable and immediately asks if he can take it off. Cecile is taken aback by his bluntness, as Noah complains that the suit feels awful, especially across his back. Just then, Sebas arrives with the luggage, his own suit jacket tearing under the strain of his massive back muscles. Noah is instantly impressed, thinking that's a much better way to take off a suit, while Cecile asks him to warn Sebas next time. Aboard the ship, Cecile admires the vessel, noting the magic church's tendency to go over the top. Lion explains that the church is a powerful organization that worships magic. He elaborates that this ship is embedded with magic interference or to protect the VIPs from being detected and attacked by pirates. To demonstrate, Lion asks Noah to try his presence detection skill. Noah focuses, activating his ability, but his senses are immediately flooded by the raucous partying of Freysia and the former Demon Lord's followers. Lion sternly tells them to be quiet. After the group quiets down, Noah confirms that he can't sense anything outside the ship. He remarks how much trouble they would have been in if their previous enemies had access to such technology. Lion agrees, stating they cannot allow their current foes to accomplish their goal. Noah wonders what exactly they are after. As Lion looks toward another passenger on the deck, Lion identifies their target, the hero. Arthur is sitting nearby, excitedly talking to his pet McFatty about all the good food they'll eat. A crew member approaches, informing Arthur that they'll need to take care of his pet until the ship stabilizes. Arthur is disappointed that he and McFatty won't be able to eat together right away. As Arthur waves goodbye, a commotion erupts nearby. A crew member is trying to confiscate Sebas's dumbbell, but Sebas passionately argues that it is his best friend and nourishment for his muscles. As the ship sails into the night, Lion watches with concern, hoping they don't run into any trouble. On the deck of the ship, Arthur calls out to his pet McFatty, inviting him to eat. When the creature continues to sulk, Arthur playfully scoops him up, but McFatty angrily protests about being put in a cage. The outburst shocks them both. Arthur is stunned that McFatty can talk. McFatty panics, realizing he's revealed his secret and must quickly trick his new friend. Instead of being alarmed, Arthur is overjoyed, exclaiming that they can now talk all the time. McFatty is touched by Arthur's simple acceptance. Arthur begins to open up, confiding in his new friend about his difficult past after demons attacked his village and left him orphaned. He reminisces about saving a village from orcs and how good it felt to be appreciated. That feeling and the memory of his master drove him to become stronger. Yet despite all his power, Arthur admits that nothing could fill the emptiness in his heart. McFatty observes that Arthur's smiles only became genuine after he met Noah. Arthur is confused, insisting he's always been a smiley person. McFatty clarifies that when they first met, his smiles were just a facade. He explains that now Arthur's happiness is real. The observation gives Arthur pause, making him reflect on the change within himself. Thinking of Noah and his companions, Arthur realizes what he'd always wanted was a family. Overcome with emotion, he pulls McFatty into a tight hug, declaring his affection. After their heart-to-heart, Arthur turns to McFatty with a grin, telling him he has a secret to share. The secret is that McFatty has gotten much fatter since they first met. Before the creature can get upset, Arthur quickly adds that he won't say anything because McFatty looks incredibly cute when he eats. The two share a light-hearted moment under the full moon. Suddenly, a sinister voice cuts through the peace, remarking on how much fun Arthur seems to be having as the demon lord Cecile appears. Without hesitation, Arthur draws his sword and leaps into a defensive stance. Cecile mockingly compliments his bravery, befitting of the hero. The familiar voice and overwhelming presence send a jolt through Arthur. He realizes with dread that he knows this man. Arthur identifies his foe as the former demon lord Cecile, but Cecile quickly corrects him, insisting he is still the demon lord. He casually notes that it's been a while since their last encounter at the village, remarking that Arthur seems to have grown a little stronger. Cecile taunts Arthur, recalling how weak and confused he was when he had just awakened as the hero. Fed up with the condescension, Arthur challenges him. He raises his sword, declaring that he will demonstrate his current power as the hero. As lightning strikes, Arthur powers up, enveloping himself in a brilliant aura, which Cecile recognizes as the hero's unique skill. Arthur rushes forward, his movements now a blur as he attacks Cecile from all sides. He remembers their last fight, where he couldn't even land a scratch, but now he's filled with new resolve. Believing he is stronger now, Arthur gathers his power and unleashes a massive attack, the Supreme Thunder Slash, as Suo smirks at the hero's growth. However, the powerful slash is effortlessly blocked by a sphere of dark energy. The resulting explosion rocks the ship, but Suo is unharmed. He calmly states that Arthur's growth is something to celebrate, then asks what else the hero has to show him. Enraged by Suo's arrogance, Arthur charges forward again, yelling at him to stop acting so high and mighty. Just as Arthur's sword is about to connect, another massive blade intercepts it. A new demon, Kabadi, has arrived. Suo praises his subordinate's excellent timing. Arthur is pushed back as more demons appear, surrounding him. With his reinforcements in place, Suo mockingly invites the hero to dance for him before he dies. Meanwhile, 3 lesser demons corner McFatty, who warns them that he's no normal cat. Internally, he knows he'd have to undo his transformation to fight them, something he doesn't want Arthur to see. The demons laugh, daring the fat kitty cat to show them what he can do. Hearing the commotion, Arthur cries out in concern for his friend. As Arthur's attention is diverted, Kabadi lands a heavy blow, sending him stumbling. The demon general chides him for looking away during a fight. Ignoring the warning, Arthur dashes past his opponents, unleashing a thunderclap flurry flash to carve a path toward McFatty. Now heavily wounded, Arthur screams for McFatty to run. Hesitant at first, McFatty obeys, fleeing as Arthur holds off the demons. Kabadi suggests they let the rat go, but Suo explains that the magic-interfering ship prevents their detection skills from working, making Arthur their only known threat. Unseen, Noah observes the battle, realizing with relief that Suo doesn't know he and his allies are on board. This gives them a fighting chance. Facing the demon army alone, Arthur's resolve hardens. He remembers the suffering he's witnessed, how demons treated innocent lives like trash. It was this injustice that made him take up the sword, and he vows to never see that world of suffering again. With renewed determination, Arthur declares that the world belongs to everyone, and that Suo and his entire army will be defeated by him. It's time for the hero to save the world. A few months earlier, McFatty recalls tending to an injured Arthur. The young hero, covered in wounds, had asked for help with some medicinal herbs. Though worried by the sight, McFatty was told to cheer up, as Arthur didn't want him to be sad on his account. Arthur had simply smiled and declared that he was the hero. Back in the present, the memory fades as chaos erupts inside the ship. Passengers panic as the vessel shakes violently, wondering about the thunderous noises coming from outside. A staff member tries to placate the guests, assuring them that the situation is being investigated. Amidst the worried murmurs of a potential storm, Noah and Monica stand composed. Suddenly, a loud crash sends another wave of fear through the crowd. McFatty bursts onto the scene, desperately crying out that Arthur is in trouble. The passengers are stunned to see a talking cat. One man grabs the small creature, wondering if it's some kind of ventriloquism magic. McFatty realizes that no one will take him seriously in this form. Remembering Arthur's wish for a world where everyone can smile, McFatty finds his resolve. He shouts at the crowd to listen, declaring that this is no trick. In a brilliant flash of light, McFatty transforms, revealing his true identity to the astonished onlookers. He is Mia, the magic cat, and one of the legendary 12 mages. Mia urgently explains that demons are attacking the ship, and the hero is fighting them alone. As she tries to rally support, Albus restrains her. She struggles, pleading with him to let her go, admitting she has done bad things but begging for help for Arthur's sake. Overcome with emotion, Mia breaks down in tears, promising anything if they will just save Arthur. A man with an eye patch questions Albus, asking if Mia is truly one of the 12 mages. He notes that the answer will change everything. The other mages present quickly deny knowing Mia, dismissing her as a fake. Mia realizes they are covering for her. She tearfully thanks them. Albus allows himself a small, private smile. Albus apologizes to Mia for having to restrain her. He offers a handkerchief for her tears. Seeing how deeply she cares for Arthur, he gently pats her head and makes a solemn vow to protect the one she cares about, no matter what. Noah steps forward, his expression resolute. Looking at the hopeful Mia, he makes his own promise, swearing on his muscles to help. Albus acknowledges his master's decision, declaring that they will all go with him. Dre agrees, stating they cannot abandon a friend in need. Eliza smiles, pledging to follow Noah anywhere. Albus remarks that he still has much to teach Arthur about Noah's greatness. Leona declares she has a score to settle with the demons. With his companions united behind him, Noah gives the order. It's time for them to join the fight. Inside the ship, Albus stops a colleague from suggesting they join the fray, stating they can leave it to the monsters. Noah remarks that the impending muscle trouble is far more terrifying than any demon. Meanwhile, the staff organizes the defense of the main hall and sends an emergency signal to the capital. Arthur unleashes his lightning-infused flash sword style. The demon general, Kabadi, effortlessly counters with a wave of palm fan thunder. Arthur's attacks prove completely ineffective. Kabadi taunts him, asking if he can see that none of his efforts are working as he effortlessly parries another desperate strike. Kabadi lands a powerful kick, sending Arthur stumbling back. The demon lord, observing from above, chides his general, asking him to take the fight more seriously. The hero pants for breath, exhausted from the one-sided battle. Kabadi dismisses Arthur's motivations, claiming that exhausting oneself to protect others is the way of the weak. He tells the hero he might have stood a chance if he had wielded his sword for his own sake. Kabadi follows his words with a devastating blow that sends Arthur flying. Arthur crashes hard into the rubble-strewn ground. Kabadi stands over his defeated foe, remarking that while he may be the hero in the end, he is merely human. Arthur watches as his opponent easily withstands the technique. Refusing to give up, he musters his remaining strength for one final, desperate attack, unleashing his Vortex Riser technique. With the hero utterly defeated, the demon lord gives a simple command: take his head. Kabadi raises his massive blade, ready to carry out the order. The demon lord smirks, planning to resurrect Arthur as a powerful undead servant. Kabadi wishes Arthur sweet dreams as he prepares for the final strike. Lying on the ground, Arthur mutters that he cannot die yet. Suddenly, Arthur defiantly grabs the demon's arm, stopping the attack. In a flash, Noah appears, catching Kabadi's fist just before it can connect and answering Arthur's unspoken plea for help. The sheer force of the impact sends the demon lord tumbling through the air. Noah lands on deck, ready for battle. The ship is rocked by the shockwave of his arrival. Noah looks over at the battered hero, telling him they heard McFatty's call for help. With a confident grin, he declares that his muscles are telling him to leave the rest to them. As Noah stands ready, McFatty provides him with a new coat. Arthur, watching from the rubble, is relieved that help has arrived. The demon lord Suo looks down from above, disdainfully asking who this new challenger is. Noah strikes a dramatic pose, introducing himself as merely a bypassing bodybuilder. The wounded Arthur tries to stand, telling Noah to step back. He plans to risk his life to wear down their opponent's stamina, asking Noah to save his strength. Noah scoffs at the idea of Arthur risking his life. He grabs the hero's arm, urging him to get back. Noah tells him that he is destined to save the world someday, and that he believes in this more than anyone. He pushes Arthur towards safety, declaring that the hero must not die under any circumstances. The demon horde roars, dismissing the bodybuilder and vowing that he will die here today. Without breaking a sweat, Noah kicks aside two charging demons. He smirks, commenting that they don't even make for a decent leg exercise. Elsewhere, Noah's allies join the battle. McFatty vows to eliminate anyone who dares stand in his master's way. He prepares to unleash a powerful attack. Alice gracefully cuts through a swath of demons with her Edward sword style. From his perch, Suo watches with mild interest, conceding that she has some power but remains unimpressed. McFatty swings a massive ship anchor through the demon ranks, determined to clear a path for Noah. Noah finds the overwhelming number of opponents interesting. Just then, his muscular followers arrive. They form a human wall they call the Muscle Donut to crush the demons. The demons are stunned by the bizarre and powerful display. Another of Noah's companions steps forward, calmly casting shadow magic. He unleashes the Black Abyss, a spell that swallows the demons. The demons are pulled into a dark, inescapable void. The shadow mage addresses Suo, asking him to keep it down. The demon lord is surprised to find another shadow magic user on the opposing side. He summons his general, Kabadi, and orders him to take care of the mage. Kabadi vows not to disappoint his master again. The remaining demons are aghast that a mere human is challenging them. Nearby, a red-haired woman named Freysia expresses her disgust at the demons' arrogance. Freysia confronts the demons, furious that they are ruining her vacation. She had plans for the casino, the pool, and a bingo game. Now she's ready to burn them all to a crisp. One of her allies observes that, as Freysia the Flame, her wrath empowers her mana, allowing her to burn through anything. It's for this reason she is also known as the Wizard of Fury. Freysia unleashes a massive firestorm called Sunflare Inferno. The spell incinerates the demons before her. The shadow mage walks calmly through the smoldering aftermath. Kabardi appears to block his path to the demon lord. Kabardi demands to know why the human stands in his way. The mage replies that his precious Noah is too pure to fight someone so dirty. Accepting the challenge, Kabardi agrees to take him on first. With his companions holding off the demon army, Noah's path is clear. He strides forward to confront Suo, who descends from atop the ship's structure to meet him. Suo introduces himself as the 33rd Demon Lord. Noah responds that he is the heir of the Francis family. As Suo boasts of his power, Noah quietly tells his distant allies that he's counting on them. It's time to get serious. Noah channels his power, focusing on his muscles. He focuses on his strength. He activates his stripping plus skill, his clothes tearing away in an instant. Noah proudly displays his physique, declaring it a perfect body. Suo can only call him a perverted meathead, a remark Noah happily accepts as a compliment. Watching from the sidelines, McFatty tells Suo he clearly doesn't understand the wonder of muscles. Noah charges, sword drawn, and clashes with the demon lord. Suo seems amused by the sword, easily blocking the blow. He sends Noah sliding backward. The demon lord retaliates, summoning dark orbs. The orbs fire powerful beams. Noah spins his sword with incredible speed, deflecting the barrage. Suo gathers his power into one massive sphere and commands Noah to die. But before he can launch it, Noah uses Flash Step, appearing instantly in front of him. The demon lord is stunned by his spade. Noah strikes, but his sword shatters against Suo's body. The demon lord mockingly states that no sword can possibly harm him. His sword broken, Noah resorts to his true weapons, his fists. He drives a powerful punch straight into Suo's face. The incredible force of the blow sends the demon lord flying backward. He skips across the ocean's surface like a stone before sinking out of sight. The remaining demons can only stare in confusion. As the demons cry out for their fallen master, Noah poses triumphantly. He declares that muscles are the strongest weapon because they can pulverize anything. The onlooking demons are in utter disbelief, unable to comprehend what just happened. McFatty, however, looks on with admiration, shocked that Noah sent the demon lord flying. Cecile notices a change in Noah. The aura he emits now feels overwhelmingly strong. Standing alone, Noah senses his opponent's imminent return. Suddenly, Suo erupts from the water, rocketing back towards the ship with incredible force. He grabs Noah, leaving a massive wake behind them. Seeking payback, Suo prepares to cast his magic. He unleashes his void magic, Clay's Aroas, catching Noah in its pull. Noah is sent hurtling into the dark ocean. Suo adds another attack for good measure, vowing to trap him underwater until he dies. A massive chunk of debris crashes into the water. Noah is plunged deep beneath the surface. Noah's loyal followers cry out his name, wanting to rush to his aid. Suo looks down on them, mockingly asking if they are a clown troupe. Suo dismisses them as idiots. Cecile rushes forward, unleashing her Edward-style swordsmanship with a 3-star twin flashes attack. Her attack proves far too weak. Suo effortlessly brushes it aside, calling her a brat. He counters by summoning a swarm of demonic bats. The massive swarm of bats descends upon the deck. Seeing the danger, Sebas yells Cecile's name. He leaps in front of her, shielding her with his body. Suo unleashes a massive tornado of bats called Bloodbat Bane. It sweeps across the ship, sending everyone on deck flying. Sebas takes the full force of the attack to protect Cecile. As he collapses, Cecile cries out his name. She stares at the remnants of the bats on her hand in horror, believing it's all her fault. Overcome with guilt, Cecile apologizes profusely, blaming herself for Sebas getting hurt. He gently stops her, explaining that he understands her anger but that it is a burden. He tells her she must remain calm and trust in young Master Noah. Both Cecile and Sebas acknowledge how strong their opponent is. Sebas grimaces, lamenting that in his youth such an attack wouldn't have made him flinch. Suo simply finds the old warrior irritating. Having had enough, Suo gathers a massive sphere of dark energy above them. He commands his irritating foes to perish. The orb of destruction hurtles towards Sebas and Cecile, tearing up the deck of the ship as it goes. An ally named Scales rushes in, deploying a super-dense magic stone shield to block the attack. However, the power is too great, and he cries out that the shield is breaking. Just as the shield shatters, another ally named Shu steps in. She uses her magic hair, unleashing 10,000 hair rampage, cuticles to form a new barrier. She admits it won't hold for long. Another ally uses a domination spell on one of Shu's beasts. He forces it to fire a crystal dragon spike. The attack collides with the dark orb. The explosion sends dark tendrils lashing out. As one of Noah's men cries out in panic, a large cat-like woman prepares her beast magic. She unleashes a barrage of cleansing furballs. The furballs neutralize the dark magic. Sue watches, annoyed that it's just one thing after another with these people. Noah's allies regroup. One suggests they should escape, but the Catwoman refuses, declaring she will protect Arthur's home. Cecile is moved by their unwavering resolve. The remaining demons decide to target the wounded Sebas. Cecile tells him to stay back, stepping forward to protect him. She declares that the essence of the Edward style is protection, and she will not let them harm a single person Noah cares about. He scoffs at Cecile's protective sword style, calling it boring. Sue declares that such pitiful efforts are meaningless before his power. Sue looks on, startled by the power of her technique. Cecile unleashes her ultimate defensive technique, the protection of the vast starry sky. Cecile stands her ground, ready for his next move. Sue clenches his fist in irritation, realizing this is the second time he's been injured. Furious, he lunges forward and delivers a devastating punch to Cecile. The blow shatters the ground beneath her, sending her flying. One of her allies cries out her name in horror. Sue glares at the remaining fighters, dismissing them as eyesores. He begins to cast a massive magic circle, commanding them all to perish. Another ally desperately tries to rouse the fallen Cecile. Sue quickly prepares a defensive spell, the Blaze Citadel. Vowing to crush them, Sue unleashes his attack. Sue realizes she won't be in time as Sue's catastrophe palm strikes. The attack erupts in a massive explosion that engulfs the area. A battered Sue looks on in horror. Cecile lies beaten and unconscious amongst the rubble. Her allies are scattered and defeated around her. As her consciousness fades, Cecile's thoughts turn to Noah. She recalls how his voice always filled her with courage. Thanks to him, she was able to smile genuinely for the first time. Her last thought is a desperate wish to hear his cheerful voice one more time. Sue looms over the defeated Cecile. He angrily demands to know why she is smirking. With a serene smile, Cecile weakly asks if he can't hear him. Sue reacts with confusion. He is suddenly alerted by a massive eruption of water from the ocean nearby. Sue watches in utter disbelief, realizing Noah has escaped his spell. Noah bursts from the sea, having escaped through sheer muscle power. His allies cheer for his triumphant return. Cecile watches with renewed hope and excitement. Noah flexes, ready for the fight ahead. Noah gently lifts the injured Cecile into his arms. His eyes burning with rage, he vows that Sue will pay for hurting her and everyone else. Noah leaps across the wreckage. He lands atop a pile of rubble and calmly addresses his foe. Amidst the rubble, Noah holds Cecile protectively, facing down his enemy. Sue remarks on how peculiar it is that Noah is completely unscathed. Telling Cecile to hold on tight, Noah prepares to attack. He clenches his fist, channeling a combination of space and flame magic into his muscles. He unleashes the devastating Ignis blow, a firebomb attack that erupts towards his distant foes. Sue deflects the attack with ease, warning Noah not to get too full of himself. The resulting explosion tears through the landscape. Before Sue can react, Noah uses Flash Step to close the distance in an instant. He lands a solid punch that sends the demon flying. Looking down at Cecile, Noah reassures her that thanks to her efforts, no one has died yet. With a bright, confident smile, Noah expresses his immense relief, telling Cecile how glad he is that she is his fiancée. Cecile, moved and blushing, returns a weary but happy smile. He gently lays her down to rest, promising that he will be right back. With a determined look, Noah leaps back into the fray. Sue taunts him from above, asking how he plans to dodge the incoming magical projectiles. Noah retorts that he never planned on dodging in the first place. With a powerful grunt, Noah meets the attack head-on, shattering the concentrated magic with a headbutt. Sue watches in utter disbelief at the impossible feat. Noah then uses wind magic to propel himself forward, closing the gap instantly. Sue scoffs that no amount of strength matters if he can't be hit. Sue's taunt is cut short as Noah's hand clamps down on his arm. With a pained grunt, Noah declares that he has caught him and has no intention of letting go. Declaring this as revenge for Cecile, Noah prepares his next move. He flips them both upside down in midair, preparing a devastating wrestling move he calls the Steel Muscle Sky Crash, Atomic Franken. The impact sends a shockwave across the water, rattling a nearby ship. Cecile crashes hard into the ground below. His minions cry out his name in alarm. One of them senses a different kind of power at play, void magic. The demon unleashes void chasers, a barrage of magical blades that fill the sky. Noah recognizes the attack as a form of space magic. He realizes with alarm that he cannot let them touch him. Noah dodges frantically as the blades rain down. One of the blades strikes and kills one of Cecile's own men. Cecile, having recovered, looks on and compliments Noah's evasive maneuvers. Cecile explains that void magic is a superior version of Noah's space magic. He elaborates that the blades will annihilate anything they touch. He boasts that Noah stands no chance against a unique magic he can't even get close to. Noah interrupts Cecile's monologue, asking if he's finished yet as he casually shatters one of the deadly blades with his bare hand. Cecile stares in stunned silence, wondering if he just imagined seeing his ultimate weapon destroyed so easily. Suddenly, a new figure appears, dragging a defeated demon in a barrel, announcing that he has caught a new mana tank. Cecile shouts the newcomer's name, Kabardi, in shock. The captured demon weakly warns Cecile to be careful, calling Kabardi a devil. Noah, however, smiles, praising the amazing work of Lion-sensei. Cecile seethes with rage, finding it impossible that one of his own lost to a mere human. Consumed by fury, he gathers a massive sphere of dark energy, vowing to kill Kabardi with his next attack. Enraged, Cecile launches a massive sphere of dark energy, screaming for Noah to die. From the sidelines, Gilbert watches in horror, crying out Noah's name. But as the sphere descends, Noah catches it, straining under its immense weight. Cecile mocks him from afar, laughing at the idea that humans could ever hope to defeat demons. The strain on Noah's face gives way to a grim smile. To him, this is a relief. He's found the perfect weight he's been looking for. Furious at Noah's defiance, Cecile prepares to add even more power to his attack. His concentration is broken by the sudden arrival of Noah's allies, led by Gilbert, who declares that they can still fight. He tells them he trusts them to have his back as they stand united against the demon lord. Cecile seethes, unable to understand why the humans continue to resist. Meanwhile, his own minions lose their nerve, discussing retreat after witnessing Kabardi's defeat. One of them points out they never swore loyalty to Cecile, but his thought is cut short by a sudden blow. Disgusted by their cowardice, Cecile dismisses his fleeing subordinates as useless idiots. Deciding he has no need for incompetent underlings, he begins to channel his void magic for a devastating attack. With a roar, Cecile unleashes his ultimate spell, Judgment Dimension. Countless magical blades fill the sky as he screams for everyone on the battlefield to die. One of Noah's companions realizes with horror that Cecile intends to kill everyone, including his own demons. True to his word, Cecile's minions break into a panicked retreat, screaming as they flee for their lives. Noah stands his ground, his perception of his opponent crystallizing. He no longer sees Cecile as a formidable legend, but as a pathetic man clinging to past glory. Cecile had grown frustrated by a world he can no longer control. Cecile glares back, enraged that Noah sees through him. Noah resolves that someone must stop Cecile, someone who can face him on equal footing and teach him the harsh reality of his own weakness. With unwavering determination, Noah decides that Cecile must be made to understand. While the demon lord screams for him to disappear, Noah calmly enters a stance, activating his own fire magic. He boosts his power. He declares that he will be the one to stop him and leaps through the air. With a final, determined cry, Noah delivers a powerful punch directly to Cecile's face. The immense force of the blow sends Cecile hurtling across the ruined landscape. He slams violently into the side of a large ship. Buried in rubble and completely dazed, Cecile can only wonder what just happened. Noah smirks, replying that he is simply a villainous noble who enjoys muscle training. Noah gestures for his defeated opponent to rise, issuing a challenge. He confidently states that he will take anything Cecile can throw at him, already contemplating his next powerful wrestling move. Noah confidently gestures to the defeated Cecile, challenging him to get up and continue the fight, declaring he'll take on anything thrown at him. Cecile, looking up in disbelief, can only wonder why he is being so thoroughly overwhelmed. Cecile's mind drifts back in time, questioning when everything went so wrong. He recalls the dark era on the continent of Dragnia hundreds of years ago, a time when demons fought and killed each other for the coveted position of Demon Lord. As far back as he can remember, his world was a living hell. One day, a slave trader arrived, calling out to a powerful demon named Kabadi, announcing he had brought some new brat slaves. As one of Kabadi's men prepares to kill them, the trader quickly intervenes. He explains that they are Valachians, whose hearts are worth a fortune. In a desperate bid to save his own life, the trader gruesomely rips the heart from one of the female slaves. A young Suo tries to escape but is caught. As Kabadi's man readies himself to kill the next one, his hope dwindles. As Kabadi's subordinate raises his weapon, a defiant fire ignites in young Suo's eyes. He internally swears that he will not let himself be killed by such worthless thugs. In that moment, a massive explosion of mana erupts from Suo, obliterating his tormentors. Kabadi stares in utter shock, realizing the immense power the boy had just awakened. Covered in blood, young Suo glares at Kabadi, challenging him. Kabadi recognizes that Suo's newfound power will make him a target for all those vying for the Demon Lord's position, but he offers him another path. Kabadi's words echo from the past, telling Suo that he has the potential to become the Demon Lord himself. Back in the present, this memory fuels Suo's power as he clashes fiercely with Noah. Suo unleashes a ferocious attack, the Igni's Blow Tempest. Noah braces himself and meets the fiery assault head-on with a powerful roar. As the attacks collide, Suo's thoughts drift. He wonders if he ever truly desired the title of Demon Lord, admitting that even now he isn't sure. However, he realizes that his desire wasn't for the title, but simply for survival. He recovers, declaring with contempt that he is nothing like the humans he faces. Suo activates his special ability, the magic crystal body. His form begins to shatter and reconstitute itself in a brilliant flash of light. He undergoes an omega regenesis, transforming into a larger, more powerful crystalline demon. Facing Noah, Suo declares that the countdown to his demise has begun, signaling a showdown between their very ways of life. In a training exercise, Noah faces his instructor, Freysia. She confirms that her only goal is to send him flying. With a determined look, Noah braces himself for the incoming attack. Freysia unleashes her powerful spell, Flame Nova. The memory of his training fades as Noah launches himself forward in the real battle, using spatial magic to execute a flash step. He creates magical platforms to propel himself across the water at incredible speed. From the ship, his companions watch in awe as Noah appears to fly across the ocean. Fueled by a fierce resolve, Noah vows to surpass his limits. He taps into his super strength, pushing his body to its absolute peak. Onlookers like Gilbert worry that he is pushing his muscles past their limits, calling it reckless. Albert places a calming hand on his shoulder, advising him to simply believe in Noah. Albert declares his unwavering faith in his Noah-sama. Gilbert concedes the point. However, he is taken aback by Albert's possessive phrasing. Meanwhile, Noah continues his high-speed charge across the water. As he streaks across the sky, Noah reflects that the world doesn't revolve around him. But since his reincarnation, he has found people who believe in him. He thinks of Cecile, who loves him. He recalls the people he was able to save, who were doomed in the original story. And he remembers the family and friends he has made along the way. He decides he will no longer fear change. With these thoughts, he can finally accept his new life as Noah. He focuses all his resolve into his muscles, preparing for the final blow. He channels everyone's trust and affection into a single, ultimate strike. It will be the fastest and strongest punch he can muster. He prepares his ultimate punch, putting the power of all his muscles behind it. Across the water, Suo bellows a challenge, vowing to crush Noah's very existence. Suo pushes his power to its maximum output, 135%. His thoughts drift to Kabadi. He recalls a time he thanked the demon for his support. Kabadi simply dismissed the thanks as nothing worth mentioning. In the memory, Kabadi poses a question to Suo. He asks Suo why he didn't kill him back then. Kabadi reminds him that he had tried to kill Suo himself. Kabadi recounts his own hellish life under a slave merchant. He reveals that Suo was the only one who ever showed him pity. Suo had replied that he simply found Kabadi to be an odd demon, one he never expected to meet again. Kabadi was honored by this simple reasoning. Back in the present, Suo smirks, thinking what a strange fellow he really is. Watching from afar, Kabadi cries out Suo's name in alarm. Noah unleashes his Godspeed Destruction Fist. Sue counters with his own ultimate attack, Hell of Despair. The two cataclysmic attacks, Chrono's Impact and Tartaro's, collide with world-shaking force. Noah strains with every fiber of his being against the immense power. Noah struggles, realizing he can't break through Sue's defense. The demon lord taunts him, promising a trip to the void world. Desperate, Noah screams at his muscles to move, to push harder. He pours everything into his muscles. He calls upon all of his muscle power, and his fist begins to crack Sue's crystalline armor. Sue is shocked to feel his own power being pushed back. With a final triumphant roar, Noah's punch shatters Sue's defenses and sends the demon lord flying. The impact creates a brilliant flash of light in the sky. A massive shockwave erupts from the point of impact. The butler on the nearby ship shouts for everyone to hold on tight as the vessel is battered by the waves. As the seas calm, the ship comes to a rest. Cecile looks out at the aftermath, sighing with relief that it's finally over. The Prime Minister can hardly believe Noah defeated the former demon lord, as others celebrate. Mia complains of hunger to Gilbert. Leo calls out, looking for McFaddy. Leo scoops up the cat, who complains about the heat. The celebration is cut short when Gilbert realizes Noah is missing. They fear he's underwater and need to find him. Cecile rushes to the edge, ready to dive in, but is stopped by the others. Gilbert orders a rowboat to be prepared immediately. Albert looks out at the horizon, whispering that his Noah succeeded. Meanwhile, Sue sinks into the dark water. He feels his consciousness fading as he sinks deeper into the abyss. Sinking, Sue accepts his loss. He reflects on his boring life. He realizes he had only forced himself to live out of fear of death. He'd grown powerful, but eventually lost his title as Demon Lord. Now he only wishes for someone to end his life. He tells the figure before him that he has lost, and that death is the traditional way the title of Demon Lord is passed on, but Noah refuses. Instead, Noah offers his hand, inviting Sue to work with him and usher in a new era for demons. The former Lord is left stunned by the unexpected offer. Noah Francis swims down to the defeated demon. Seeing Noah, Sue realizes with a faint smile that he won't be allowed to die just yet. With a wide, triumphant grin, Noah grabs Sue's hand, exclaiming that he's caught him. A new, powerful ally has just been unexpectedly recruited.